Welcome, 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 and welcome again. It's the Next Statement edition, episode, version, program, whatever you want to call it.
Another one.
We're back again. And today, Longers, who have we got?
We got Steven Stylish Knights inside the building.
I'm just glad to be here.
Yeah, oh, listen to this guy, you know.
Glad
Listen
to be alive.
this guy.
Glad to be alive.
Mr.
Healthy.
SN live.
Trust me.
You alright? How you doing? You good?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. You know, I'm just happy to be out.
Yeah.
Wicked. I mean, how you coping through all this madness that's going on at the moment?
Mate, you know what? You just gotta have to make sure when you're leaving the house, you got your mask, you got sanitizer, and you got some lotion.
Man, I got my mask.
Because when you sanitize your hands too much, all of a sudden it turns white. I don't really know, is that dry?
So what do you think? Is this a pandemic or is it a plandemic? What's your take on it?
Ooh, well, you know what? When it first started, I must say people started, all the conspiracy theories,
Yeah.
But then when things start to get closer to home, maybe you hear about, your friends, family, or you start to think, well, okay.
It's getting closer, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm telling you.
It's getting closer.
Conspiracy theories are still there, though. Conspiracy theories are definitely still there, but hey, there's nothing you can do about it. You just have to try and make sure you dodge.
Just stay healthy, man.
Yeah, you just have to be safe. And I think this is going to last for a while. The whole world has changed.
Yes.
And you got to look at it in it's going to be the whole way people are. It's going to be, it's going to last for a while.
It's a new normal now, new life.
Yeah.
New life. So when do you think we're going to get back to coming to your great parties, your night outs?
I like to be optimistic, but I'll be honest with you, I don't see things going back until the latter part of this year, realistically. Because you have to convince people that, once everyone gets vaccinated, or people that want to have the vaccine.
What about you? Vaccination? Yes, no? If we have to?
Yeah, it's for me. It's a case of if I have to.
Yeah, for me.
I don't really want to take the vaccine, and
but
I know
what?
that it's gonna have. I know it's going to have problems with me flying and all that kind of stuff. So it's more looking like I'm gonna have to take the vaccine.
If I have to, I have to, and I'm not.
Hey,
I don't like saying this. I don't like it.
The other day, I took my old man. I thought he was gonna get a flu jab. I don't even know why I thought that, but he took it. And then when he came back to the house, I said, "Hang on a second." He said, "Yeah, I just had the COVID vaccine." Jeez. I'm like, "What? You mean?" I'm like, "You mean to tell me you did it?" I was like, then I started panicking. I said, "Which one did you get? Did you get the Oxford one or the
Pfizer?"
The Pfizer. He said, "Well, you didn't have a choice. They just told him this is what you're getting." Yeah, and he had the Pfizer one.
And the thing about it is,
whoa, that's not even
because they're targeting the elderly first.
Yeah.
So it was always going to happen.
Yeah. But what's strange was that same day I got a text from NHS saying, kind of like, don't call us asking for the vaccine.
We'll contact you guys.
Yeah. And I'm like, why would I be contacting you guys asking for a vaccine? Do you know what I mean? So bizarre. But yeah.
Sometimes when something gets too much media, you start losing sight of what the conspiracy is. Because at first we had 5G. 5G is going to kill everybody. And then that just disappeared. Boom, like that. Then it became something else. Then it became the vaccine. My whole thing is that it's not that I'm a kind of person I'm not going to take it because I feel like I'm a herbalist and all of that. Yeah. But again, we don't know how it's going to affect us. So
exactly.
When you're talking too tough about taking
it, when they tell you about if you don't take it, you can't come out your front door.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And I don't ever think you'll get there. It's just that certain things will be in place where you won't be able to access. That's what it will just be. That's what it will be, and it will make it hard for you to access things. But it might not even get there. So because again, the conspiracy it's another conspiracy. When something's got too much media, you can almost see there's always a side of conspiracy with everything. Yeah. Because I feel like even people that don't believe in conspiracies in this period start looking at things like, hold on.
Yeah, something's not feeling right.
Something's not right. You know what I mean? So, but like I say, I just think there's always going to be an alternative, but they're just not bringing it out yet.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well,
let's get a bit of background about Steven.
Yeah, let's talk about Steven Cookie. Like,
okay.
Where you originated from? How did you get started in the music world? What was your first gig?
Okay. So, which one should I answer first?
Yeah, true.
You asked me the
Right.
questions.
So where you originated from?
So, right, my background is my mom's
He's
Jamaican.
fully mixed race. He's fully
Let
mixed
the man
race.
talk,
Fully.
man. Let the man
Mix
talk,
up.
man.
Mix
I don't know
up.
about mix up.
Yeah.
So my mom's Jamaican and my dad's African, Nigerian.
Okay, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I grew up in Africa. So by the age of like 4, I got taken to Nigeria where I grew up.
Yeah, because I can hear the accent.
Yeah,
Always heard the
yeah,
accent. Yeah.
And did primary school board and then secondary school. And I
Right.
came back when I was 16, so like 13 years.
Okay.
You were boarding school.
Well, yeah.
I heard that almost coming out.
Yeah.
How was
It
that
was-
boarding school in Nigeria?
Yeah, I didn't really. Well, it was a boarding school, but I was one of the. Well, I was meant to go and stay, do the boarding thing, but I couldn't. I couldn't do it,
How long did you last?
mate. Days. Yeah, to be honest with you, I could have probably. It's just the home comforts and stuff like that. But it was fun though,
Yeah.
because like other people looked like they were enjoying themselves, but then you have to go home at normal hours. So yeah, I mean, it was like
Go public school after that.
no, the thing about it was called Federal Government College. So this is where a lot of people. It was like an international.
Yes, I heard about that. I know people that's been in
Yeah.
African international schools.
Yeah, so a lot of people come from different parts, and yeah, they've got great alumni. So people that went to the schools, sort of, we still meet up like once a year, even in the UK, the US, and yeah, it's a good network.
Good network. Okay,
Yeah.
so you done the boarding school over in Nigeria.
Yeah,
You came back over to the UK when? How old?
I was like 16, 17. Yeah,
16.
So that was a hard transition because obviously I'm this quiet Af guy, you know what I mean?
Freshy.
Bush boy.
Fresh.
Hey, to college, and mate, and I chose a wrong college as well, where it had like all these nice looking
What
girls.
college
Like,
was it?
it was it used to, back in the days, it used to be called M Park College
Okay.
in Stanmore. Well, it changed to Stanmore College.
Okay.
But you know what I mean? Where I came from, we didn't have that kind of lifestyle.
Yeah.
So it was like, off the boat
Yeah.
type of guy. So
Yeah.
I was just quiet. Like
Yeah.
I didn't come
What's
up
the
with
swag saying? What's the swag saying?
Mate. Swag. My swag.
You come off the plane,
Hey,
you come to Stanmore, there's bare girls about. What was the swag like?
I had to learn
Did you get
quick.
attention, man?
I had to learn quick. And this is the
Yeah,
time when
you had to learn quick, yeah?
I had to learn quick, man. This is the time when all the car kind of stuff, the
90s,
yeah.
Okay.
I'm like, bro, and SWV. The girls used to come to college looking like freaking someone out of SWV.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I used to,
music videos.
what? You know what I mean? I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
So obviously you have to adapt, and I was shy, so I was very quiet. So people who remember from college days, they would just say, Steven's a quiet guy,
Yeah. Be like me.
Ollie,
I said a bit like me. That's what I said.
No English, no comprende, no understanding. No speaking
but
English.
Okay. So then the music world, when did you get introduced to that?
so okay, I would say the first time it was really when I actually did a first event was for my birthday.
Okay.
Yeah, my birthday event, which is when I turned 30. Kind of giving away my
I was just about to ask that.
Wow.
Go.
So yeah, I was meant to have an event with someone else. Things kind of fell through. So in the end, I just decided, right, I'm still going to do something anyway because it's such a monumental landmark.
Yeah.
And we did an event. I did an event which was called a Masquerade Ball. And it was just an idea that we thought, let's just do something, make everyone wear masks.
Yeah.
And people were like, nah, it's not going to work. Everyone kind of rubbished the whole idea. And I was like, okay.
That's what people are like.
Yeah.
Mate, I sort of doubted it, but I'm like, what's there to lose? If you're not going to come, then that's it. So we actually, ordered like hundreds of masks, made sure like people would actually get the masks if they didn't get in advance.
Okay.
So yeah, so it was a great night. I only expected to have like 200 people. We had 500
Nice.
for the first event.
Nice.
That's
good
that
numbers.
was like, yeah, imagine that.
I'll be happy nowadays. to get
Hey,
500s.
bro, and
Good numbers.
we did it again for a minute.
Yeah.
What venue did you use?
It used to be called, at the time, it used to be called Metropolis. It changed to Mustard Bar. You remember? You got
of course.
Yeah.
Of
You
course.
probably know
Yeah.
Mustard.
We've actually done a
Remember
masquerade ball
Metropolis?
in Muscle.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we've actually done a masquerade ball there.
Mate. Yeah, so that was so once you got, it's like anything, when you get the bug for something,
Yeah.
and obviously the word got round, like, oh, this part you should go
Stephen's
there,
right,
and they're like, oh, the people that didn't come, they're like, nah, you got to do a next one because, you know. and
Was
that's-
there social media at that time? Instagram was popping when you was
Well,
30?
strange enough, we had a YouTube, we did a YouTube video that for that event, and it's still up on there.
Okay.
Yeah, I was watching it the other day, cringe, man. It was like, you know when you look,
We'll put a link in the comments. Don't worry, we'll put a link in the
you can
comments.
see it. It was interesting.
Yeah.
But then it just sparked up the whole thing of thinking about sort of ideas apart from the normal sort of events.
Yeah.
So that's where I thought, right, okay, I just want to do stuff that's different. Yeah, you don't want to do stuff that, in a way, it was different for us because I hadn't really been to one, you know, on that sort of scale, and just coming up with different ideas, you know, to do with.
So how did you get the name for Stylish Nights? Because I mean, for me, that's one of the coolest names, along with Twice as Nice.
Oh,
Do you know what I mean?
Hey,
I've always
I
thought
take
the
that.
name of it
I
is
take
just
that.
really cool.
I
How did you come
appreciate
up
that.
with the name?
Do you know what? Me and my boy Troy were just sitting down one day and was thinking about branding. He's quite good. He's not into the entertainment world at all, but he's very business savvy, and
Yeah.
we was just brainstorming, and together we just put stylish and nights together, and it just kind of worked. So that's how it came about.
So-
What year? Sorry.
Go on, sorry. No, I was going to say, Stylish Night. So is that just yourself then? Or
Yeah, it's pretty
Your
much just
partners.
myself. Yeah,
Just yourself.
but obviously it's a collab of other people, because obviously when we do concerts and stuff, there's I
that's what we was going to get into. What is
Yeah.
Stylish Nights? Tell the people, because remember
What
there's...
year did they start, if you don't mind me, just
Yeah.
before you go to it?
So it's 13 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So for the people that don't know what Stylish Nights is, how would you describe?
Okay, so Stylish Nights is an entertainment company, and we also have a sister company called SN Live, which specifically concentrates on concerts. So the likes of
Right.
Cardi B, Jacquees, etc., etc. So specific, because we entered the concert world. I wanted it to have a branding that SN Live is known for, just concerts,
Right, okay.
Separate from Stylish
separate
Nights.
from Stylish Nights,
Yeah.
because people over the years knew Stylish Nights as just parties. So we wanted to keep it kind
You
of
say
separate.
etc., but you know what I mean? Give us
Yeah,
what
talk,
kind
name
of-
names,
yeah.
name names.
And what
Cardi
kind of,
B.
What kind of event, where did you host your concerts as well?
Okay, so if I go back to Stylish Nights, when we wanted to sort of branch out and do things differently, I had a boring 9-to-5 job, and I was sitting with my colleague one time, and we were saying, look, I hate the job, right?
Yeah, yeah.
The amount of time I spend working, I want to be creative. I want to think about putting different. And she said to me, all right, let's brainstorm together. If you're gonna do an event and do something totally different, what would you do? So I said, I'll get like one of the hottest guys around, you know, like black male figure, that will attract all the hot ladies.
That's
So
right.
I put it back there. I said, who is the hottest guy right now that you think that everyone, all the girls will get stop about, you know, get hyped up.
And she said London's.
No,
And she said London's.
That's right. This guy.
She did
no,
it.
This
Did she?
guy. This
Hey.
guy.
No way.
This guy. Well, you know.
Anyway, we move.
Yeah, so she said, oh, look, she said, if you could get Maurice Chestnut, right, I will give you £100. At the time I was like, oh, just for me, just for someone just saying, you can't. Anyway, I'm gonna. She said, I'm gonna say Maurice Chestnut is my guy. If you could get him to do an event,
Yeah,
that would be it.
yeah.
So I was like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna get him, and I'm gonna tell you when I get him that listen, just because of you, that's why he's saying I'm gonna tell him.
I would have told her to up that money.
Well, the money was insignificant. You know, for me, I just wanted to make it happen. For me, it's when someone says you can't do something,
that's
like
your
almost
motivation.
like she picked the guy that you know
£100
untouchable.
ticket then.
Mate. So I was like, wow, okay. It was like a hard thing. I was thinking, Maurice Chestnut. Number one, Maurice Chestnut is not even a guy that you see in the clubs like that. He's
not accessible.
He's not.
That's what I thought.
Mate. So I had to devise a plan to get him. You know, and Maurice is like very, you know, sort of like serious. You know, at that time he just done the Best Man movie. He was big. You know, so I basically had to do some proper research to get someone that was close to him.
Yeah.
You know, and it so happened that I got someone that was really cool, you know, that happened to be his manager, his business manager, and we were able to put the deal together. I put an offer and everything, and you know, it was just great. We managed to build the event and put the event in. I actually did 2 events with him in London. So the first one was in Holborn. Yeah, that's right.
And it was him that wanted to come back, right?
And then when you got the contact, like finished, it's a good story.
Yeah. Okay. So with that one, I had to, once we decided to fly him over, you know, we brought him over to London. The thing is, he's never actually been to the UK before.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, talking to him beforehand, it was like an easy, kind of not like an easy sell, but it was like the sales. I basically told him, look, this is what we're gonna do in London. You're just gonna come, and he was like, well, I thought it was gonna be harder than it was.
So he weren't demanding or
it wasn't like
he didn't want to roll with a gang of 10 entourage.
I just said, listen, we're gonna, you know, we set up shopping trips. We're gonna come. We're gonna go out, do shopping,
Okay.
and kick back and relax. So it was like, he was so cool. You know, there's sometimes when you hear like the riders, you say, you know, nah, it was none of that. To be honest with you, that was one of the best riders I've ever had.
Okay.
Mate, he had on like, you know, the Red Bull. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like, he was so cool too. So he flew over with just one person, which is just his manager.
Great.
And normally, you know, people want to take the mic, bring like all the cousins and
Tawana.
And especially that he hasn't been to the UK, so he could have easily demanded to bring an entourage.
And also, you know, he didn't ask for like 5-star. You know, even though, you know, I still made sure that even though artists don't ask for the world, when you appreciate them, you're gonna go over and beyond and do certain things. So, we put him in a nice hotel in central London, and we spent time. We went out, and did some shopping. Just the interaction with people. I'm talking. It was so funny.
So when you was doing the shopping, was you being stopped by people like knowing who he is?
Just because
there's Maurice.
Listen, the ones that really shocked me most is the guys. I understood the girls.
Okay.
But when fellas
were getting gassed.
Saw him,
I've heard these stories. Stories.
Dude,
mad.
Like, okay, one thing about certain celebs, when they're eating, right, that's not the really.
That's not the time.
Yeah, that's you got to kind of time it right.
Yeah.
And mate, we went for dinner. We were having food. Some guys were like, "Oh my god, like I beg you, Bob. Let me just take a picture of Maurice. Let me just." I'm like, well, just wait a minute, you know. But Maurice was so kind. Like he would stop eating, you know, and took pictures. Even when we're out and about.
Do you know what? It's probably like a boost to his ego a lot more because the fact that he's never been here, he doesn't know what to expect by coming to the UK. He doesn't know what kind of people are in the UK. You know, the Americans think to themselves, there ain't no black people in England. You know, no black people over there. Do you know what I mean? So to come over here and see the love and the fact that people know him is probably just so much more of a boost to him that he's just like, you know what, I'll do just everything for the fans and everything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it just changes a lot.
Got a nice character.
Yeah.
I've met some arsehole celebrities.
Oh yeah.
In my time, so you know what I mean.
Gladly, I can say I haven't.
Yeah.
Gladly, I can say I haven't.
Not for you. You know what I mean? It depends on character.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, totally.
It just shows that he's got good character.
So how did the event go?
Yeah, the event was good.
And did you bring that girl?
Did you pay £100?
Oh,
Yeah,
you know the funny thing is, even then she didn't even turn up.
That's people.
way.
She
That's
didn't even turn up.
Come on. You
She
know
didn't even
this.
turn up.
You
She
know
did
what
all
it's
the
about.
talk,
All the talk.
hyped me up. I did the thing, and she didn't even
You
show.
should even call her out now.
Name and
let her
shame.
watch this. I'm joking.
No, but you know what? I just loved the fact that she actually inspired me or motivated me to do it.
Yeah. And took it to that next level.
Yeah, and I was just,
how was it financially? Was it?
oh yeah, it was
Sold
good.
out. Sold
It
out.
was so it was good. And the thing about that, you know, we did a whole meet and greet thing. So people, his fans, predominantly females, got to meet him and take pictures and stuff like
yeah,
that.
that's wicked.
And he was really cool. He loved it, and he was not like a diva. He did all the, you know, he took pictures, not just females, guys as well. So
And he stayed in there all night.
he stayed in there.
He stayed.
You know,
Mhm.
he stayed, and
Were you there on this?
Yeah.
You see,
Yeah, that was the beginning part that I started playing for Stylish Nights, because I think I'd only played a couple times with them before he came over. Do you understand what I mean? So yeah, that was like kind of my introduction into the whole world of doing the whole celebrity stuff.
Oh, big,
Do you understand what I mean?
big,
So
big.
yeah.
nah, Long smashed it on the decks that day. It was a shutdown.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Where was that? Where was that one?
that was at Sway.
Sway, yeah.
Yeah, we had
All the rooms.
all the rooms.
What's the capacity in Sway?
Holborn.
1,200.
12.
Yeah,
Okay.
1,200.
Okay.
But you know what? It's like, this is the one you need to really tell the story about, because this is the one that flipping broke everything. Amber Rose.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, I
Because
remember
this
the flyer.
guy,
I remember the flyer.
this
I
guy
remember the flyer.
brought over Amber Rose to the UK,
Yeah.
and this is like, you know, sometimes you don't really know how big somebody is until you know how big they are.
Yeah.
This woman came over to this country, and she was a blatant media attraction in a monster way. Do you understand what I mean? In a way that, I remember when we did a little tour with her, because we went to Milton Keynes, Liverpool, and London. Do you understand what I mean? It could have been so much more, but those are the ones that we did. And when we got to Milton Keynes Hotel, she pulled all of the actual shopping bags out of the van. Sorry, the tour van.
Yeah.
She pulled all of the shopping bags out of the tour van. And if you ever see how long the line of shopping bags were,
Right.
and she hadn't paid for none of them.
Yeah.
So imagine being somebody who is so big that you can walk into a store. You're not an artist. You're not a actress. But you can walk into a store, and every store you go into, they say, "Here, you can have all of these."
And that's what,
I say
how that works, isn't it?
nowadays
It
you
is.
have a lot of people that call themselves influencers.
Yes. She wouldn't even call herself that.
Amber
She was
Rose
just
is
Amber
like
Rose.
was on the next level. You know, like
Early day of influences.
yeah, she calls herself mother. She was the mother of all of them. Like she breeded. She was like, you know, the
Because wags used to be called wags, but now a wag would be an influencer.
Yeah.
and then she'll have blogger on her Instagram.
a blogger, yeah, or like yeah,
Travel blog.
so stupid stuff.
So how did that all come about? How did you put the Amber Rose thing together?
Right,
Because I remember
so-
after that, everybody was like, I'm talking about other promoters, like, I'm gonna go and get Black China, or I'm gonna go get this person to come over, and it's almost like because of what you did, everybody now wanted to bring over a supermodel
type female. Yeah. So, well, off the back of the Maurice Chestnut one, we also did events with Idris.
Yes.
Quite a few of them. And before we got to Amber, it was like, okay, what are we going to do that's just going to be so different, that, and I thought, well, I haven't done an event or a big event with a female. So when we looked at sort of brainstorming who at the time was causing a lot of stir, and at that time, Amber Rose was like, she had the issue with, well, even
before
that was before.
Before Slut
yeah.
Walk,
So, and at that time, she had the issue with Kim. They had this rivalry with Kim Kardashian at the time. So
she's no longer with Kanye either.
Yeah, she just broke up with Kanye. So it was like, wow, we have to bring her. She was hot at that time, and it was just this perfect timing. She
actually at that time she was with, what's his name, wasn't she? Wiz Khalifa.
Yeah.
Yes.
Was she?
Yeah, she was with Wiz.
Okay. I get so with the person.
No,
she wasn't.
London sounds confident.
She wasn't.
She was with what's his name? I just said London sounds confident.
No, because I remember she was with Machine Gun Kelly.
Machine Gun Kelly. That's what I was. Yeah.
Machine Gun Kelly.
Yeah. So anyway, the same thing. We when we went to her, she was so receptive. She hadn't been to. No, she'd been to the UK before, but she hadn't done an event. The last time she came to the UK before I brought her, she was with Kanye. And she actually said that when she was with Kanye, it was like hotel, restaurant, hotel. They didn't see anything. She didn't see London, so she really wanted to come and experience it without him, basically.
Right, sounded like she was under the thumb, I mean.
Maybe that.
Man, I have to wear trousers sometimes,
True, I hear you.
So she was looking forward to it. She came to London, and but when we done it, we obviously pitched that she was gonna get a lot of the whole shopping thing would get anyone, know, and we lined up like we even do half of what we actually had for her, and literally we had so when we actually picked her up at the airport, we pulled up, and Heathrow Airport, all you see is just normal people waiting with the tags to pick up. Her security flew in from Germany. She used this particular guy security all the time. So he landed, and I was with him, and everything just looked cool. Like her flight, she waited to be the last person to get off the plane. So I thought, this is easy, man. Everybody else looked like they were, next thing, as soon as she walked through the gate, arrivals, I just saw loads of paps. Because even paps are not even allowed in terminal.
Right.
All the paps just pulled out. They were literally waiting, right? Camping, but undercover.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything in my life. They were undercover paps waiting, and as soon as she walked through, they just pulled out
the cameras out their waist.
The cameras, and it was pop, 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 pop. Oh my gosh! And then, so literally, I was like, from thinking, this is such a relaxed pickup. Yeah. This is so smooth. I had to just think, right, we need to get her out quick. So luckily, that was a crazy rush. We got to the Sprinter van, and we were driving from Heathrow to Central London, and the next thing I was looking at the rear view, looking at the window of the car, and I thought there's a couple of bikes that we saw at Heathrow that were following us. Literally, we had a convoy of paps following us from Heathrow. Jeez. And I was like, oh my. So we decided to stop off to get something to eat, and I told the driver to try and do some maneuvering to try and get rid of the paps.
Yeah.
And mate, we couldn't shut them off.
Couldn't shake them off.
The paps on the bikes. There's no way you get.
Yeah.
I could understand. You always reminded me of I don't know.
Diana. Princess Diana.
Diana.
That's what I was thinking in my head.
And I've never experienced it with nobody. I never experienced it, you know. And literally, we got to the restaurant.
How was you feeling? What was the conversations in the car at that time?
Oh, she was just cool. She was very relaxed, you know, very soft. She's got this nice aura about her, like sweet. But she's firm. Like when I was like shocked, but she was kind of used to it. And she just said to me in a soft voice, "Yeah, we need to move quick. Like we need to move now." I was like, "Okay." You need to tell me twice.
You know, the funny thing about it is, I can imagine the gangster side to her simply because of what she used to do. Obviously, if you come from that stripper world, do you know what I mean? And you've got guys who are gonna come to you and be a bit too forceful. You have to know how to kind of like say to them, "Listen, bruv, fix up yourself." And
and she's the way she does. She's very attractive. You know, very attractive. And at that time, you know, and the thing is, she's tall. She's almost like
she's
I haven't
tall.
met Meg Thee Stallion, but she's got that. She's
kind of
she was. Yeah.
I don't know if you actually saw the picture that I took with her on the stage at the London event, where she's standing directly next to me. You can actually see how tall is she. I mean, she's got some heels on, but you can actually see her height in comparison to me, kind of thing. So she's tall. She's tall.
Yeah. So we pulled up.
It's on my Insta anyway, somewhere.
I pulled up at a restaurant, and literally there was about 20 photographers outside the restaurant waiting. I went back in the van. I said, "Look, Amber, we're not gonna that this restaurant thing is not gonna work today." So literally, we just had to get takeaway. I went back to the hotel. Once we got to the hotel, she was staying at the W Central London. They were waiting for her. I don't even know how they knew about that. I don't even know how they.
Do you know what it is? I think these people are smart in the way they have insiders, so they can make certain phone calls, and then when they make those phone calls, someone will look in what's called. "Oh yeah, she's staying here." You know what I mean? And then they'll pass that information into. That has to be how they do it.
Like they sold it. It's like they sold their soul to media.
Listen, at that time when we brought over Amber, I spoke to one of the photographers. They say, "Listen, a good picture of Amber would sell for about 20 grand. You know, like that's stupid money because all these papers they will pay stupid money for especially someone that like because at that time it was a whole Kim Kardashian, Amber Rose rivalry. Yeah, they want to see what she's wearing. They want to analyze all the blogs would just pay money just to you know." So we did like a whole sort of press day with her. We did.
Did you do any radio interviews?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
we did. Yeah, we did. Yeah, we always do. I was from dealing with people like Amber. We always like to try and maximize as much PR as possible. So we did like the BBC One extras. We did. I think. Did I get on Westwood? Yeah. Did I?
No, I don't think she did Westwood.
No. Okay.
I know.
But that would she did the One Extra.
Wouldn't he have been on One Extra at them times, though?
No,
he was on a One Extra at them times. He was One Extra. He wasn't on extra. Capital Extra.
So we did a whole. So what we did was we actually got the W Hotel to do that. We did a press day actually at the W, but they had like all the mainstream people like the Daily Mail, Sun. Literally all those people were just contacting, saying, "No, can we have 10 minutes with her and this and that." And sitting through, I was like she was obviously, the nice one when it comes to the interview, but I had to basically kind of tell these people, and also not even just tell them, but hang out in the interview and say, "Look, you can't ask certain questions." She wasn't allowed to answer any questions. She wasn't going to answer any questions about the whole Kim and Kanye situation.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
And all these papers, all these media people, even though they've been given strict instructions not to ask, they're always going to find a way to try and do it. It was
they just word it different. They're smart.
Yeah.
So you've had to like change your whole.
Mate, I was the bad guy that day.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You was a quiet guy. You was a quiet Stephen from college.
Mate,
all of a sudden now, you're like a tour manager.
Bad guy. Yeah. But even, you know, that's just the nature of the beast.
So who else? Okay, so we
How
know.
were the events? So just before we get past it, how did the event go?
We know how the event
Yeah,
went.
the
The event sold out again.
Events were crazy.
The event sold out.
All right.
He could have sold
Listen.
20,000 tickets.
You know what I mean? Just for the viewers.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, to say something about Amber as a person.
Yeah.
Now, she is the first celebrity which I've seen that wanted to take a picture with everybody in every club.
Yeah.
So our first stop was Liverpool. She took a picture with every single person in that club.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? No problem. Picture, everybody came up, blah, blah, blah. Now, you have some people that actually pay for meet and greet tickets.
Yeah.
She was like on the thing of just, I want to take a picture of everybody, make it special for everyone. Do you know what I mean? She has that just nice personality, that nice warmness about her.
Yeah.
Milton Keynes, same thing she wanted to do. Take a picture of everybody. It was not going to happen. Do you know what I mean? Like, Milton Keynes was a very different crowd from Liverpool.
Yeah.
And the excitement was so much more crazy, it was never going to happen. I think somebody even accidentally spilled a drink on her as well. Do you know what I mean? So it was just too crazy. It weren't going to happen. Nobody got, like, she's in her booth. Everything's going fine, blah, blah, blah. Everybody's just pushing to come forward, like, I want to see. And then I think that's how, coming back, but I think that's how somebody ended up spilling one of the drinks that was on the table and it went on her or something like that. But she still wanted to take a picture with everybody in the club. Now, Milton Keynes Club, Wonderland I think it was called, is bigger than the Liverpool Club, like much bigger than the Liverpool Club.
Yeah.
It weren't going to happen.
Yeah.
It weren't going to happen. She had to be escorted from where she was into the side room for the meet and greet people to take pictures, but the rest of them couldn't. And in London, yeah, same thing. She can't.
Wow.
Yeah, can't.
Wow.
And you know, like, because I asked that question because what is an event like with an influencer or quote unquote influencer?
Yeah.
With someone that's not a performer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they're not coming to see a performance. So I wonder how the event goes. Like, how does it work? And how do you bring them out? Because I haven't actually been to one of them.
Do you know what? I remember when it first came out, like, I know I'm talking right now, but I remember when it first came out, when people were coming to me and like, yeah, but what's she going to do?
What's she gonna do?
Yeah.
That's what I say.
What do you think she's going to do? The same thing that she always does. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just be there.
Yeah.
What do you see her do on the gram? Do you follow her? Yeah. What does she do on the gram?
What was crazy about the London show is that I've never seen anything like this, where you actually go to an event and you see so many other females that look like mini me's.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh my gosh!
Okay.
I never
I
seen.
forgot
I never
about
seen.
that.
Okay.
Literally,
That's hilarious.
There was a girl that everyone thought was Amber Rose in the crowd.
Yeah.
You know, and I think someone took a video.
That's the one that was in South London that people were rubbing her head and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
People thought, oh, that was Amber.
There was
That
a
wasn't
video
Amber.
going
That was
around in
just someone.
South London where, like, Amber Rose is getting chiefed up by every beer man, just any old place, any old corridor in some
People were
rave, and
messaging.
people are just rubbing her up her
People were
head and blah
messaging me
blah
saying,
blah. Like, it wasn't-
"How
it
come you
wasn't
bring
heard of.
Amber?" And someone's. I said, "Listen, bro, did you see the amount of security that we had just for her
Yeah,
going
yeah.
shopping?
Yeah,
How you think
yeah.
I'm gonna let someone
Yeah.
rub up her head,
Yeah.
mate?" But I did tell you there was one time that she really got pissed off, and I'll tell you the story. So we went to went shopping, actually Stratford Westfield. There's
Okay.
a shop there. The women know about it, called House of CB.
Right. Okay.
And they shut down the whole store for her, and it was about, I don't know, 8-9 o'clock. So literally she just had to do her shop, right? And literally she bought, well, I would say took
Yeah.
one of everything, literally.
Wow.
Yeah, we had literally about 15 grand's worth of stock,
Jeez.
you know, just for her. Some of the stuff we couldn't even fit in the van were going to be shipped directly to her LA address.
Wow.
When we were leaving the store, obviously there's a crowd of people, outside. You know, these girls, these young girls, like, oh my God, Amber Rose. So we're like, okay. Amber, you know, normally she would stop and take a picture and whatever. But at time, it was quite late. And, you know, in Stratford.
Hungry.
You know what I mean? She literally just we wanted to get from store to the van.
To the van.
Next thing, like, she couldn't stop to take one picture, because if she did, then she would have to take pictures of everybody. That wasn't going to happen.
No.
This young girl now, brazen herself, tried to get hold of Amber Rose's butt cheek, touch the butt. Can you imagine that?
Jeez.
And
violation.
literally, like, obviously security moved in, and then she was fuming.
Yeah,
she goes, listen, like, Stephen, I don't mind, I don't mind, like, taking pictures and whatever, but she just doesn't like, you know,
people feel like they have
a violation
right
like that.
Just violate.
Come on.
Listen, you know, sometimes I could understand why girls get pissed off in the club when
guys do that. Yeah.
Mate, she that really upset her, and it took a little bit to kind of calm her down. She was like, she said to me, listen, Stephen, imagine that shit. I tell you what, if I had my friend over here, Black China, things would have popped off. They would have needed security on her just to keep her away from the, from the girl, because she would have gone 0 to 60. Wow. And I said, I know. Yeah. That's why I haven't brought Black China. Yeah. Mate.
So any other funny moments? Like, you've had all these celebrities. Any other funny moments? Like something outstanding?
Which one?
There's a moment you left out about the person who tried to grab when Amber was on the stage in London.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember she was taking pictures and she was sitting? She was like kind of like. Not kneeling down, but crouched down. Oh, yes.
Yeah, someone tried to grab her into the.
Yeah. Someone from the crowd actually tried to grab her from the crowd while she was like crouched down, taking pictures like this kind of thing, just posing kind of thing. She was facing me because I was on the decks at the time, and the camera person was facing the crowd. So basically what you've got is that picture where you see her facing the camera and the sellout crowd behind, so it looks great. And then somebody tried to put their hand up, and I think they tried to, I don't remember if they tried to touch her arse or they tried to touch her pum, one of the two, but she handled that in such a graceful way that it's one of those ones where you would never even notice what happened. All she did was moved forward, went back into pose. So her moving forward means that person can't even reach her no more. Do you understand what I mean? So, yeah, she knows how to deal with it. Yeah.
Funny moments.
Ooh, boy.
Something hilarious.
What artist made you laugh when you brought them over and they acted like?
Yes, character. He's got the character.
What's the worst artist you brought over?
Nah, the funniest has to be Cardi B. Cardi B is just, you know, there's so many funny moments with her. I don't even know where to start.
At what point did you bring her over? Early point, or after it was all blown up?
Nah.
No, she came here. This was like she didn't even know she had fans over here.
Literally.
Yeah. What year? You remember the year?
Okay, so I think it was 2016, 2017. She just done the
the
track. No, she hadn't done the Bodok yet then. She just did a track with what's that boyfriend's name again?
Offset.
Migos, Offset. Yeah. So she had a track with him, and she done a few mixtapes, but everybody kind of knew Cardi B.
Love and Hip Hop as well.
Yes, Love and Hip Hop. That's when she had this falling out with this London girl, where no one even heard about her since then. Yeah. Where is she? I never know. Oh, mate, that whole incident actually caused, you know,
a lot of hate on that.
A lot of hate, because I had already booked her before then, and that episode came out, and then I had all these messages from all these, you know, girls in London saying, well, some of them saying, "Oh, you can't bring her now. You know, she's disrespecting a London girl on there." I'm like, please, did you see the? You know, I hadn't watched the show. You know, I wasn't a Love and Hip Hop fan, but when I saw it, I was like, maybe we should push it back. And I thought, nah, for this, I'm like, please, it'll blow over, you know, and it did, because no one even talks about that thing again. Yeah. So we brought her over, and in a way, that's one of the ones I did think, Cardi B. I wasn't too sure about that one. You know what I mean? But obviously, I knew she was gonna be bigger. But I didn't realize how big she was going to be.
Yeah.
But I knew this girl was talented. And I'll give you one example. We did this tour where we went all over the UK. We went to Birmingham. And
Manchester, was it? Did we go Manchester?
I'm not even sure. I can't remember. But I'll give you one example of the way I knew Cardi B was next level, right? She's what I call a social media genius. Literally, we were going to this party in this club in Birmingham, and I thought, let me get her a nice vehicle to go in rather than Sprinter buses, Mercedes vans that we've been rolling around in. So I got her Rolls Royce Phantom. I think it was a Phantom or Ghost. That was it. And she was like, ew, you know, the way she gets in. She was like, ow, yeah, that's it. Yeah. She got in the back, right? And literally, she was like, she did this funny pose where she tilted her head and you see the Rolls Royce sign. And she was like, yeah, this is how bitches be when they get into the car, you know, to show that they're in a Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
And literally in like, before, it was like maybe 10 minutes to get to the club. She posted it online. And mate, it nearly hit like, the video nearly got like 1 million hits just before we got to the club. I'm like, wow, this woman is the next level. She's like, you know, and she's so quick to think about stuff like that, you know. So at that time, maybe now she doesn't really post as much as she used to back then when she was less famous. But then she was so quick at her. I just thought, that's genius. This girl's next level. You know, she could market anything.
Social media side was quite big before she blew up.
Oh,
that's how.
Yes.
That's how she even got on Love and Hip Hop, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
She was just like she was a well-known stripper from New York. That was so like she had such a buzz to her character that they got her on Love and Hip Hop.
Yeah, there's a comedy side to her.
Yeah, her social media was popping it.
But I tell you even the weirdest thing, right? This is where you know, okay, we might be like organizers and stuff, but we don't really know much about the music game, because we did interviews with Tim Westwood, and then Westwood said to me, please, I've got a party later on that night. Can I bring Cardi to come down? And I was like, okay. You know, we doing back-to-back interviews, and she's gonna be mashup. So I was like, Tim, I don't know, you know what I mean? So I'll try and make it happen, but I was like, in my mind, I'm like, she ain't gonna happen, because I'm even tired. I'm not even the artist.
Yeah.
So anyway, we went back to the hotel. We're just chilling. Next thing, I get a call to my hotel room from the manager saying, yo, Steve, Cardi wants to go to show love to the Tim Westwood thing. I'm like, really? Are you sure?
Yeah.
I was like, huh? Yeah. She goes, she really likes Tim, and I was like, cool, let's do it, man. You know what I mean? So we got the cars. Because it was late, we didn't have all the vehicles with it. So I had my vehicle and another vehicle. So Cardi was like, all right, Steve, I'm going to ride with you, right? I want you to listen to my new music. So, okay. So I was just we're calling her DJ Cardi, right? So I gave her my aux lead, and she hooked up her phone. She said, I want you to hear my new shit. Yeah, okay. And then she played me the Bodak Yellow song. And I was like, it hadn't been totally mixed down properly, you know, but you could just, I could get the gist of the song.
Yeah, the vibe.
And I was like, oh boy, I'm not sure, you know.
Yeah.
I was like, boy, did she play me the one with...
Did you tell her you're not sure?
In my mind, I was like, I ain't going to tell her that. Come on, I'm not going to kill... Listen, I'm glad I didn't tell her that, because I thinking, how stupid would I be? This freaking tune blew up. But she played me the G-Easy one. You know, get the nigga book of money. You know, that, I was like, that's got a hook. That would pop.
Yeah.
But mate, I got it so wrong. That tune, The Boy That Yellow, ended up being the one that broke all the freaking.
It's her biggest song even now.
Right.
It's bigger than any song that she's put out since. You can still play that in a club and it's a vibe.
I was like, boy, I don't know, but it's one of those songs where when I heard it first, I didn't like it. But
yeah, some songs don't grab you straight away.
I was like, wow. I was like, boy, your career is not going to go too far if you.
Yeah.
But producing music like this.
But you know what? When you actually like, all right, when you from out here and you hear some of her early stuff on the mixtape, at that time, some of the stuff that's on the mixtape, you could be like, But then the other stuff on the mixtape you might pick out from. But there was people who knew the actual, she had 2 mixtapes. People knew the mixtapes word for word. And that goes to show like the difference in like the age in terms of that, you know what I mean? In terms of the music that is popping from what's not popping. And just what people like from people, what people don't.
She had so many different demographic, age group that went to that show. It was crazy. In Birmingham, I saw this old white guy that was singing her lyrics. I'm like, this guy's in the wrong place. He should be like at some Guns N' Roses concert. This guy's up front singing word, verse for verse, you know? I was like, whoa. I didn't even know, like, you know, half the tracks like that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
See, what people don't realize about Cardi as well is that when you see somebody on TV and you judge them and you might say to yourself, yeah, well, then people are just playing up for the camera and blah, blah, blah. Now, if you think that about Cardi, you try to test Cardi's gangster, you're going to see a different Cardi. Now, I want you to tell them about that piece in Birmingham.
okay. So, we were at this club, shout out Club 101 in Birmingham. And Cardi, like, she was hosting. She was dancing all through the night, and we was only there to do, like, normally when we do club appearances, they do like an hour minimum, like an hour is the time maximum. Walk through.
Okay.
But she was having a great time. You know, she was having a great time. Drinks were flowing. It was a vibe. It was a wicked night. And she was twerking, doing all sorts, you know, and the crowd was going nuts. I was even thinking, man, this girl, like, we'd been in London doing all that stuff the night before, Tim West's stuff, and we're here the next day. I'm tired, and I'm not even doing the stuff, you know. She was proper twerking, doing all that stuff. And then, I think it was like maybe 2.5 hours we stayed there or something like that. And before the club closed, we decided to go. And then the club owner came out shouting, "Oh, no, you can't leave it yet. You haven't done, you know, performed." He wanted like an actual performance. Cardi was, listen, even before I even got to even speak to him, she was like, no, hold on, I got this. Yeah.
No, you didn't see how she did this, right? She's got her manager in front of her, people in front of her, and her security in front of her.
And I'm talking like she had like half of New York, like hood niggas in the club. You know, like these guys, you know, but yeah, go on.
She walked through, as in like, hold on. Move people out the way. Do you understand what I mean? To get to the front. Even the mic. You know what I'm saying? Move people out the way to get to the front. To talk to the man. Tell him what she said to the man.
Yeah, she said, look, something along the lines like, just because I'm not performing my songs, don't mean I'm not performing. I'm dancing, shaking my ass, twerking, doing all that stuff. What do you think that is?
Yeah, hyping up the crowd.
Hyping up the crowd because she had the mic. She was like the host pretty much for the night. But because, you know, the guy was like, okay, sorry. You know, humble pie. Yeah. The next day, this guy called me and he said, man, listen, I'm so sorry that even, you know, that the hype of her being at the club and also the business he's got off the back of that. Yeah. Fast forward to recently, I spoke to the owner. He said, man, dude, like, that was the biggest artist I've had in my club. Now, when I step into business meetings and we have a discussion, who have you worked with? That's the number one name he calls out.
Cardi.
You know,
Of course.
you don't get bigger than that.
Yeah.
And even
she told him off though.
No,
What
no,
I mean?
do
She
you know
didn't just talk to him. She told him off. Like you could see the
How
angst in
dare
her
you?
face. Like,
Let me give you-
how much that will cost you?
let me
How much that would cost you?
let me give you some background. Even before, like, so the time before, she was gonna host that club. She wasn't actually meant to host the club. French Montana was actually supposed to be in town. Now he was supposed to do a concert in Birmingham, but that got cancelled. So she was actually like the guy was actually like the second choice for that night. But imagine that she ends up being the biggest artist that club has had.
She's bigger than French Montana.
Oh yeah. So
Bigger than he's ever been.
And the deal was good. The night was great.
oh yeah, the deal was good.
The deal was good because it was her first time in the flipping UK. It's like she hadn't even blown up yet, so definitely.
I'm talking the deal that, behind the scenes.
Oh, money-wise.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's what
must
deal
have
I'm
been.
talking about.
Listen, dude, let me just say it, put it this way. Like, people always ask me the question, like, do you think you can get Cardi now? I'm like, probably not. You know?
Okay.
Do you know, I'd be opposite. But you see, every time you get someone early,
Yeah.
the difference between American artists, yeah.
Oh no, I get where he's coming from. He could get her
Yeah.
if he has the right money.
Yeah.
You know,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Because in reality,
But
it's
American
what's it call it that
artists,
really controller now.
American artists hold loyalty more than the UK artists.
Yeah,
And certain other people. So when you was one of the first people to
a certain degree.
because when they got money, because they got a lot of money. There's a lot of money they've made, but they always remember the first people. Like even the interactions that I've had with people.
Oh no, they'll remember the first people, but
even
listen.
if they're here, they just hit me up.
If like let's say for example I was the first person who brought her over, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden Live Nation are bringing them over, but I still wanted to I want to bring them over instead of Live
Well,
Nation.
you know what happens, Longest?
She'll take the Live Nation
When it
contracts.
after that the level of that we bring them over, there's not that much other places that you can bring them here. Like as much as because even though their price goes up, that just means that no one's gonna book them.
No, but you see, and that's a part. That's the
Unless
part of it.
they're on
That's
a
what
tour.
they know because they know that Live Nation are gonna pay them stupid money, and Live Nation are gonna offer them a world tour. They're gonna offer them all this and blah 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 blah
I'm
blah.
not doubting that, but you don't. It's never as personal.
Yeah, it's never
Yeah.
gonna be personal. It's never gonna be personal like that.
When
Yeah.
you
Never
bring
gonna
them
be
over,
personal
like how Steven brings them over,
Yeah.
it's never after when they get that big. It's never as personal.
Yeah.
Like when someone's looking after them, taking them places,
Yeah.
restaurants, hotels.
She'll remember the Phantom.
Yeah,
Hey,
She'll remember
listen.
being picked up outside the
Yeah.
hotel.
Let me tell you something. When she did the London show, it was a sold out show at XOYO in Camden. And we had
Okay.
like,
No, XOYO.
yeah.
XOYO?
Is it? Not
No.
XOYO, sorry. Coco.
Yeah.
Coco, yeah.
I forgot the name of the place. But
I know.
XOYO was
AXO, yeah.
what's his name?
Yeah, we don't show
R&B
that.
guy.
Yeah,
West London,
yeah.
Huh? Yeah.
Coco, Camden,
West
yeah.
London. Coco's Camden, yeah.
She literally one week she was so like the vibe she got from the energy she got from the crowd. She was in tears, and I'm like, she came off stage crying because I said to her because we did Birmingham first. I said to her, listen, Birmingham is cool, but it wasn't obviously it was not as big as the London show. I said London show, the energy you're gonna get. I said, listen, you're not ready for that. She's like, she's like, please, So I was like, watch tomorrow, what and literally the energy was mad. Literally that show, that first London show she ever did in London. God, I was there, and as a crowd, like just being, I was like, wow, this is different.
Epic.
This is it. The screams she got just getting on stage was something else.
Yeah.
I'm like, this girl's gonna be a freaking megastar.
Yeah.
And literally when she came off, she was crying. She was shaking, crying. She was like, oh my God. Literally, she had to have like 5-10 minutes just to get herself,
Yeah.
because it was just, but you couldn't tell. On stage, she was like, doing all of that. And then come backstage and she was just like, wow, it's just freaking amazing.
So she's the biggest artist that you brought over then, really? Stylish Nights?
Yeah, I would say so.
I would
but
say-
not at the time.
Yeah.
At the time, she was still on her way up.
Yeah, but on the
She was
CV
still-
now. On the CV now.
Oh hell!
Oh,
wow.
yeah.
That's
Oh,
what I
Way,
was talking
yeah.
about. Correct.
Yeah. She.
Who else did you brought over?
So we did a tour with Jacquees.
A few
Calls-
tours.
Yeah, a few. So he calls himself now the king of R&B. And at the time,
That was controversy, wasn't it?
yeah. It was. I'll give you all the tea behind that anyway as well. So, I got him. We did the first show. Also, this was one of the shows where I was thinking, I'm not sure. I remember I spoke to Longers. As long as is this guy, R&B cat called Jacquees. What do you think? What do you think about this guy? Should we do? I was thinking, okay, what kind of venue should we put him in? I was thinking, Indigo, nah, it's too big for him. So we thought we'd just go in and do this place in Camden, Electric. Yeah. And I thought, you know what? I'll be lucky if we get like 600-700 people. I was thinking, okay, that would be good. Mate, when we started promoting, I was just surprised that people knew him.
So the feedback was good.
Yeah, the feedback was the tickets sold out.
Ticket selling.
Tickets sold out, and this guy hasn't done a performance. Normally, what happens is people come and do like a small venue, sell out, then they go back to the States.
Then
the
it builds
vibe,
up.
it
hype
builds up the hype.
Yeah.
But this guy hadn't done,
No performance.
yeah, and he hadn't brought out his album.
Okay. Yeah.
He hadn't done his album that time. So
Yeah.
this was like, okay,
Mixtapes kind of thing.
yeah, let's just. He had the one big hit, you know what I mean. But when he came down and shut the concert down, it was just.
So how many people did you have?
Oh, it sold out.
out.
It was like 1,400.
Okay.
At least you still got good size.
Yeah.
See, the good thing with like, I get to know who he's going to bring over before he brings them over. Because he always calls me, Longers, what do you think about bringing over this person? Blah, 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 blah. And somehow he seems to get it right. Because, like, I had doubts about Cardi B. I had doubts about Jacquees.
Oh yeah, he had big degrees.
I had doubts about what's her name, who you did the party for the Super Bowl after party with. What's her name?
Drea.
Is it Drea Michelle?
Drea Michelle.
Now
Yeah, we did a whole NFL.
Sounds like you had doubts about everybody then. So who didn't you have doubts about?
No, well, you know the funny thing about it is, like, when you do, certain people you just don't have enough, you don't know much about.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So if I don't know much about them, I can't really tell him too much.
But
So
then what about-
I've said to him certain times, like, yo, go and check out for such and such, son, check out for such and such. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but what about the pulling power that Stephen's got?
It's
Remember,
you
it's
know
still
what?
it's still the brand.
Oh,
so
no,
no matter
no.
who comes,
Like, he's just asking me my opinion.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So forget the brand. He's asking me my opinion, and when it comes to my opinion, I'm allowed to give it to him on what I know of that person. Do you know what I mean? And especially with Jacquees, I was like, because as far as I was concerned, I didn't realize people mess with him like that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
Me
mean?
too.
but what was his YouTube hits and all that? Because
I
obviously you
think
check
it's
that out.
He's-
It's a generational thing.
Yes.
When it comes to these younger artists,
younger
it's
people.
it's a generational
Generation.
thing. 'Cause
Mhm.
We
Mate.
won't be listening to them, but I know we're not hanging around with the people that listen to them.
Yeah.
And
So,
they know his music.
proper.
Like they know the lyric. When I was, hanging backstage, is watching the crowd singing verse for verse, word for word. I'm like, whoa! I don't even heard this song before. You know what I mean?
I'm just a promoter.
And he's been doing mixtapes. He had this thing where he did like Q mix. So he took other people's songs and did his own version. So so this time, you obviously heard about the whole situation with LMA
Yeah.
and Jacquees. This was at the time when it was happening. So they said his manager said to me, right, Stephen, he's gonna perform one song, right? This was the Trip song, right? He's never. This is like a new song. Okay, and I'm like, bruh, I didn't even know I hadn't
his own
heard
version.
LMA's version yet,
Mm-hmm.
and he performed it at the show in London, and it went off. Like it was a shutdown. You're like, I was like, damn, that's a bad song. When I went back. Next day or so, I listened to LMA's version, and I was like, man, his version sounds so much better.
Okay.
Obviously, I love both tracks,
But that's
but
how they got it taken down.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
they knew-
Yeah, but the thing-
Didn't he actually record the video while he was here?
yeah. I'll tell you about all of that one as well. Yeah, so talking about the video thing, we actually piece together the video. So literally, Jacquees didn't actually, normally the record company would pay for the video to be done and stuff. Literally, it was word of mouth. Okay, I called up my boy Frost. He's a great videographer. He was like, okay,
he's doing some great stuff right now.
He's doing big things right now. So he said, all right, you know what, Steve, I got you. I'm gonna set up everything. I'm gonna get a Bentley, a wicked car. So he brought the Bentley down. Everything, normally some like a big budget video, he just did it. We just done it quick, and it literally was done like at a hotel apartment. Well, it's like an apartment in central London, and the whole video was shot that same day. So, but at that time, LMA and Jacquees were cool, because he was just showing the track love by doing his verse before the video dropped. So at the concert, LMA's family, her friends were actually at the concert. They were vibes into it, and even after the concert, the manager showed me messages of her manager, like they were back and forth, like, oh, Jacquees has just performed the Trip song, and it went off. They were like, what? Like, wicked, that was great. Like, so both of them were on the same vibe. So I think where things really just went sour was when that video dropped, because it seemed like, and also the fact that everybody was sort of getting on the fact like this song was actually
brand new. It was a
no,
new
like
single.
he did a good version.
Yeah.
He did a good. If he didn't do a good version of the track,
they're known. Yeah,
It's bad for their money. They put a lot of money into the tune.
Yeah.
And then this guy's coming to
with a bad boy video as well.
And then and he's gonna make money off it as well,
Yeah. I think. Do you know what the video was?
Nice.
Looking back at it, even like being part of organizing the thing, I was thinking, ethically, is this right? We're shooting a video for a song that's not yours. But I was like, you know what? This
the thing is, they do this all the time, so it's nothing. But at the same time, no. What the problem was is that it's LMA's single, and the single has just dropped. So because it's a single and it's just dropped, you can't have that competition to go like, okay, well, I want this one, I don't want that one.
If you weren't getting as much hits, they wouldn't have minded. It would have been like promotion.
Yeah,
exactly.
And also, if it was someone like Rihanna that covered that song, oh my God, that's a boost.
Yeah.
Of course, she'll be freaking thanking her praises.
They're both at the same level.
They're both at the same level.
And then he takes it. She's from London, and he came to London to do the video. Maybe she took it like
she was like, this guy, he's got a big fan base in my hometown. Everything is just Mate, I was at a show.
It was a bit cheeky.
I was at a show in the States, where they had all the top R&B artists. Jacquees was there. HER was headlining her. LMA. They had this girl that is big. Well, she's blowing up right now. The girl that's going out with the baby. What's her name?
What's it?
What you said? Yeah. And I said at that time she was nobody. She was just
no. She was on her way up them times. But yeah, I had some of her tracks.
Yeah.
Even Summer Walker, for me, she had such a big concert here before I even knew me personally. I'm not saying that. Like London, somehow there's so much people here that will actually look for music and support, because they had a big concert for
You know what the funny thing about it is, like,
Summer Walker.
She's been on the up. But you see, there's also another artist.
I saw the concert before I even saw who she was.
But there's another artist that he showed me before I even knew who she was, and she's blowing now on radio.
Yeah.
Queen Niger.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
He showed me her about 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So yeah, like
when I saw her perform in the States, she was on the same bill, and I was like, yo, this girl is big. She's gonna be big. I to be honest, I think she's actually taking a little bit more longer than I thought she was gonna be. I thought literally she was gonna blow quick, because she's got huge fan base in America.
sometimes that's all about your label, though.
Yeah. And also the choice of the songs, the singles they put out, stuff. But
I asked you this earlier. Who's one of the most hard to work with artists that you've brought over?
you know, the funny thing is, I would say One of the ones I didn't really have, like, she left a bad taste in my mouth is gonna be, as long as he's shaking his head, he knows. And this was surprising because I actually liked her as a fan. You know, I was like, genuinely, the reason why I brought her over, and this is why sometimes it's not actually good to bring people who you like, think that you like, because it doesn't always work out.
Separate your emotions from business.
Exactly. Her name was Seven Streeter. She never really.
She's more of a writer.
Yeah, she never really had like hits. She had a couple of hits. She used to be working with Chris Brown. And I think, you know, at the time when she came over, she just did some dumb stuff that just pissed me off. So what it was so there was a concert day. Concert, you know, had good numbers and stuff. And normally we allowed time for sound check. The previous artists I've worked with, normally when they do a sound check, they do sound check for like maybe 20-30 minutes for just a sound check. She wanted to do a sound check for 2 hours.
Diva.
Bruv, let me tell you something. She was doing a sound check for a whole album. Who have you seen someone that does a sound check for the whole album?
But did anyone try and say, you know, manage it, direct it a bit?
Tried. I even had to step in because obviously we had stage manager and that kept on saying, look, the doors are gonna open. Like the doors are gonna open, and what's happened is, if we don't open the doors now, the show's gonna overrun its time, and unfortunately that's what actually happened because she didn't. She said no, hold the doors until I finish my sound check.
And the warm-up acts hadn't even got a chance to do their sound check yet.
Did she have a bad experience before or something like that?
Do you know what it is? Do you know what it is? Looking back at it, I understand it now because she'd been out the limelight for a long time. She hadn't ever done a show in London. Her confidence was pretty low, and she wanted to come and do like a big like performance. Like I had to get extra fans, you know, like the whole Beyonce type thing on stage. Right. And I'm like, okay. So now I understand that she had just nerves, jitters. So she wanted to double check all her notes and make sure. Literally, compared to someone like Jacquees, you know, now Jacquees doesn't even do a sound check. He sends his DJ to do a sound check. You know, that's how confident he is. Like he's so the contrast in her trying to do a sound check for the whole album, and she only performed how many songs? So she was just nervous. And also, you know, what really got to me as well is when she went back, obviously some of the guests that came said, oh, we wanted you to do a longer show, sort of thing. Rather than kind of making it positive, she was like, I know the promoter didn't get certain equipment. She was putting the slack on me.
I hate that.
Really? Everyone enjoyed the show. You know, they just said you should have done a longer set. So why would you just say, okay, next time I come? She just tried to throw me under the bus. I sent emails to her mom because her mom's a manager. I sent emails to other people.
Don't come back, you're not welcome.
And I'm like, you know what? There's a reason why you're not bigger than you are, because you only do dumb shit like that. You know, how are you gonna come and Live Nation's not bringing you over?
Is there any
you know,
is there any artists, celebrities that you've tried to get in the past and it's fallen through for whatever reason?
Yeah, there's some. It's funny you mentioned Summer Walker before, because before she came, I wanted to do that show. You know, and I knew that show was gonna pop. Like, you know, but it's just one of those. I don't really sit at home thinking, oh damn, I wish I did it. You know what I mean? It was just in mind, like, okay, yeah, it didn't happen, and obviously there's a reason why. I don't always. There's tons of other artists that we've tried to do stuff with, that, you know, it's just at the right time. If things work, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. One of the other.
Do you feel like you get a struggle being independent?
Oh yeah. Obviously the big boys like Live Nation, they have like a monopoly on the game. So pretty much any concert, any big concert that you go to is run by Live Nation. And what they do is they have other affiliate companies, even though you may see it's not the Live Nation name, but they're behind it anyway. So they have SJM, Live Nation, you know, they're pretty much the same. And they just sort of have this monopoly where rather than two, like a independent promoter like myself will come and do like maybe 2 or 3 shows, they will sell them massive tours like the whole of Europe. And I used to have the conversation with the guys, the management in the States, like, come with me kind of thing, and I'll do exit. They were like, yeah, but Stephen, we like you and everything, but Live Nation is offering us this check. You know what I mean? Like this money, and they're doing like 50 dates all over, all over Europe. So that's the main struggle. So that's why
Live Nation have got things locked down in such a way that is so crazy that people don't even realize. I remember a few years ago when Future came over, it was kind of surprising to see that Future is not on Live Nation's, at the time wasn't on Live Nation's radar. He came over, I think he done 2 shows in London that was sold out in seconds. The promoter wanted to put on a 3rd show, and then as he was getting ready to sign those papers to put on a 3rd show,
they blocked it.
All of a sudden, no, we can't do it. Why? Live Nation just made him sign a contract to be some. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the thing is, Live Nation weren't even gonna bring him over until the following year, so he can't do anything in the UK or in Europe. If I can't remember properly, but in the UK or Europe, I think it was, until they finish with him the following year.
That's the business behind it, man.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah.
So
Tough.
what?
People wouldn't know that though.
So what I said to my team is that we just have to think out of the box. Obviously, you can't compete with big
That's right.
big powers. So you gotta just find a niche
Yeah.
and build on that niche.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You just gotta go for the people like at that time. Cardi B wasn't on the radar. The people that we brought went on
The
Live
radar.
Nation.
That's
When
right.
we done it, they'd be like, because Live Nation actually said, "Damn, they wanted to be. They would have loved to do that show."
You see,
But we also
I think Live Nation own Ticketmaster now as well. I think
they partly own the Academy group.
Okay,
So
they
all
know
the
about
venues.
the numbers of everything. As soon as they see those numbers, then they can actually infiltrate.
On a personal level, what was your first concert? Long as I start with you, what was your first concert you ever went to? I won't ask you to disclose the year.
My first concert was a dancehall concert. Who was it? All right, I remember my first concert that I went to. They didn't actually end up coming on stage, and they didn't end up coming on stage. This concert actually put a bad taste in my mouth simply for the fact of it was supposed to be Capleton and Monster Shack.
Way back, boy.
Where was that? What venue?
This was Adrenaline Village.
Wow.
Okay.
I think Adrenaline Village was Chelsea. I think it was. But anyway, what happened was, I think Capleton was supposed to come on. Lights went dark. Anticipation building up. All of a sudden you hear blah 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 blah. Everybody in the place is running. People dropping over people. I dropped over someone. Who did I went up there? Courtney. I went up there with Courtney. Courtney. Not Courtney Mack. Courtney Tottenham. Courtney. He used to live near Caston.
Go on.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
I think it was I dropped over someone. I think it was Courtney who pulled me up.
Yeah.
And it got to a point where all of a sudden everybody was all huddled on one side of the venue.
Right.
And there's a door like just over there. And people are getting through the door like just trickle by trickle. But then all of a sudden you see everybody is just all huddled up, and you have to look over there and you can still hear a couple gunshots, but you don't know where it's coming from. You don't know if they're going to shoot into the crowd. Nothing.
Yeah, you had a bad experience, boy. That's your first concert.
That was my first concert I went to.
And you still
Poor you.
I couldn't tell you, yeah.
No,
But
how
then,
old you was at least?
no, like I was in my 20s. But basically, what happened next? Flipping, Courtney went Buju concert. I didn't go because of what happened there. And then he told me about how wicked it was, and everybody else telling me how wicked it was. So that experience messed up everything for me. Do you understand what I mean? I did go, obviously, concerts after that, but...
What's the first concert you enjoyed then?
I can't remember who was on them, but I remember Anthony B being a warm-up act for somebody and totally smashed the place.
Yeah, I was there. I was there with you.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Do you remember who else was on the lineup?
No, I was gonna say, was it in Temple?
Might be. Listen, Temple. It wasn't even concerts. Temple, we just saw so many artists in like the early Westwood days. You know what I mean?
Westwood just shut down Temple.
I saw Buster up there.
Buster,
saw Jay-Z up there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like I actually played at a Jay-Z concert after party, which was up in what's the place? The iconic place in South London called again? It's still there now.
Whereabouts in South? South's a massive place.
In Elephant and Castle.
Elephant.
Coronet.
No,
Coronet.
not Coronet.
Not Coronet.
No.
South London.
Yes.
Elephant and Castle.
Yes.
God.
When you may say what it is, you do not be like,
Is it still there now?
Still there now.
And a concert venue.
It's huh? Ministry.
Okay.
Ah.
I wasn't even thinking that.
Ministry.
That's an elephant.
Yeah. And the thing is,
Easy one as well, innit?
I know.
I thought it was. I was DJing. It was Elliot that I took up there. It was like, hey, how long is on coming? Alright, cool. Elliot came up there with me.
Okay.
And
Elliot Ness, by the way.
Elliot Ness, yeah.
Okay.
And we must have went backstage now, and there was some arcade game. So we're playing an arcade game up there now, and then all of a sudden, Jay-Z walks past with manager and a security guy. So walked past, went to the room, and it just looked at each other like, bro, Jay-Z just walked past us. And then they came out of the room like within a few minutes, walked past us again, came back, stopped, watched us playing the game, and we're like, okay, this dude's actually right behind us. So I said, Jay, I heard you was going to bring Kanye with you. He goes, yeah, I ain't heard that. And then they all walked off.
Bloody fans.
Yeah, fans.
Listen to
Groupie,
me.
daddy groupie.
No, don't make me talk about groupie, yeah? Mind yourself. But no, seriously.
Not even yo, Jay. What's happening?
Nah.
Cool, cuz.
I can't get to play a game in peace. Jeez.
Let me tell you something.
Leave me
I
alone.
ain't gonna lie, right? I'm one of the biggest Jay-Z fans, but when he was there, I didn't have a clue what to say to the dude.
I could tell.
Yeah.
And there's only one person who I've met and just didn't have a clue what to say.
I've
That's
been
Rihanna.
Oh wow, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Seeing her in real life, I thought to myself, wow, she's bad. And that's it. No, she ain't.
She's quite short.
If it's on my Facebook somewhere, like, you know what I mean, like where I've got a picture with her and she basically up here to me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So she's definitely not short.
Yeah.
She's tall,
Wow.
long legs. Do you know what I mean?
Wow.
And I interviewed her. And before the interview, I just didn't know what to say to her.
It's the eyes.
Once
innit?
the interview started, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, blah, 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 blah. But that little, you know, that part where you can actually get to know somebody before the interview part, we're just sitting there. Oh, so blah, 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 blah. And then the silence again.
You must be thinking, damn, I wish I could.
Rav, if you,
I wish I
my
could shoot my
word.
shot.
That's
I
exactly
wish I
what
could
was
shoot my
thinking.
shot.
Word.
I know
was
it's gonna be
thinking
my
that, but
professional,
nah.
but I know I wish I
Word.
could.
What about your first concert, Steve?
Oh boy, I was at the hip hop concerts back in the day, man. I went to
Bap.
yeah, those used to kill it. I remember going to Biggie Smalls, and remember when
Vex,
It
I
was-
missed
You
that
went up
concert.
Vex. Oh.
Biggie bro, it was Biggie and Craig Mack.
Yeah.
And
When I saw
Diddy,
the footage,
Yeah.
Diddy was that was mad. That was mad.
you was
That
there.
Where was
Yeah.
the concert?
I was in like I think it was
Hammersmith, I think it
yeah
was.
Hammersmith. It wasn't the Hammersmith Apollo the big one, but it was one other venue that had
No. Hammersmith Palais, yes.
Palais.
It turned to Puna now, but yeah, Hammersmith Palais.
I saw the footage on that,
Yeah,
man.
I
I
was
was
mad.
vexed. I
Hey.
missed that.
I was like history there. You know,
Oh, actually, I forgot something. That wasn't my first concert.
That's what I was thinking. That was late. It was
My
something
first,
late.
my first concert was off the Richter scale. I was in New York. You know what I mean? This was when I was a teenager. With my cousins.
Memories.
Blah,
It's coming
blah,
back.
blah.
It's coming back to us.
Next level.
No,
Like your 20s,
but hear
like
this.
concert.
Hear this though.
Big DJ Loggers.
Hear who was on the concert, right? Heavy D,
Hey,
Alright, now
Big.
you're talking.
Kid and Play,
Better. That's better.
big.
Humpty Hump and the Digital Underground.
Come on.
You're showing your age there.
What's the name? On Vogue
Wow.
Yeah.
and Public Enemy.
Line up.
Right, so that goes
In New
back
York
to my
as well.
question. My
In New
first
York.
concert was
Yeah.
Public Enemy.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I'm glad you left that to last.
Okay.
Because to me, Public Enemy was my first one. Big up Jay, my brother. Thank you. Like, yeah, wicked.
Where was it?
Actually, I googled it the other day. Actually, I think it was London Arena. I think it was.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was called something else. Now, I think it was. You know what I think it
London
was?
Arena was in Docklands.
I think it was O2.
No. London Arena. It was London Arena.
No, but
O2
what
was
is
the-
it? Where is it now?
London-
Where's London Arena in the world now?
London Arena turned into.
It's in Docklands.
London Arena turned into. What's the? Do you know where they were taking where that big hospital building was supposed to be?
Excel Centre.
Excel Centre. That's what it is. That's what it was.
That's where I was then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reason why I remember that London Arena now, when it's not there anymore, is simply because I remember working with the Sony Street team, and I was working on the Destiny's Child concert up there. Do you know what I mean? Which I totally loved, because obviously I get to go backstage, blah blah blah. But we couldn't actually. We were told, do not even approach them, because their dad would. Not having
Crucified.
it. Yes.
I think my favourite concerts though was Method Man and Redman.
Yeah.
Twice I went to
Yeah.
go see them.
Okay.
Over.
Yeah.
And if they come again, like now, after
Yeah.
this lockdown, I will
When they
pay
came out
money
with
and
that
go
album,
again.
That concert was great.
Oh, listen. These men are climbing up the speakers, like, how are you getting up there? Coming down
The
on the
music
crowd,
was matching it,
jumping
you
on.
know
Oh,
what I mean? Yeah.
Method Man, trust me.
I've always said to people, do not go to a Wu-Tang. No, that sounds bad. But if you go to a Wu-Tang concert and
expect-
Method Man is not there, then
Yeah.
it's not going to be as great as it
great,
is with
yeah.
Method Man there.
Yeah. What about your favourite, Steve?
Ooh, yeah. I mean, the favorite one would have to be that one I just mentioned. The
Yeah, the biggest ones.
yeah,
that's
but
history.
then you know, like there's so many other concerts that you sort of
Enjoyed at the time.
enjoy. Yeah.
Who's your biggest childhood fan that you kind of got to work with?
Ooh, that's a
Because I don't know if you've worked under any of the kind of early R&B people, like the SWBs or the, I don't know, anyone from the 90s?
Joe.
There you go.
Yeah. I forgot about Joe.
You brought him over for to do a party, innit?
Yeah.
So how was
This
that,
is
like?
mate, that was amazing. Yeah, that was just
It's a
you know,
different feeling when you like someone from when you were young. You know?
yeah, but you know the thing about Joe is like Joe was just he's such a cool guy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think he's always so good when you work with cool people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's more to look.
I didn't. He was more like a dinner setting, so he was just
Okay,
you know, and then the performance. He just a cool character.
Cool,
do you know what I mean?
yeah,
So
yeah.
it was nice, man. I was like, damn. You know when you obviously have been killing his tracks from day, and then you see him. And he's such a cool guy, and then he performs and he sings just like the freaking CD in my car that I used to be rocking. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, it's not even like, you know, studio type thing. He sounds
Did
exactly.
you do a show with him? So where did you make it?
It was like a dinner. It was like a meet. It was how did I market the thing again? It was like
That was before I started playing with Spanish.
yeah.
So I
it
don't
was
know.
like a dinner, an evening with Joe. That is it. An evening with Joe. So we did like dinner, and then like a party thing afterwards.
And he performed.
Yeah. So
Band or just more like DJ?
so it was just a track. It was a track thing. So it literally was like, you know, very low key.
Yeah.
DJ VIP booth.
No.
Climb on the table, you know, that type of thing. But it was cool. It was nice. I remember it was even like a Sunday evening, and it was just wicked vibes. You know what I mean? And you know what's certain people when you work with them, you go away thinking, oh, I'm glad I did that. You know what I mean? Not like saying other people and you think, oh man, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Joe, wow, yeah, salute, man. He's always that
So,
was a good one.
what other top performers? What other good performers? For me, Elephant Man, very top performer. Buster's
Buster's a wicked performer.
energy.
Yeah.
Wicked performer.
Yeah, full of energy.
Wicked
Do
performer.
you know is
yeah.
that back in the day, like we had
Yes,
so many
real performers,
good
artists,
performers that will
yeah.
come and they shut it down.
Yes.
That's why when I go to somebody's concerts, you know, and I think, what are they doing?
Yeah.
Like people are paying big money, like 30, 40 pounds, you know, to go to a concert, and the artist is coming out for 20 minutes. You know, and not doing no energy or just walking, like literally walking on stage.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
before,
yeah.
you know, like you were saying, jumping off walls,
Yeah,
doing that
speakers,
stuff.
yeah.
Do you know who, actually, one person I noticed recently I went to that did that was Designer.
Okay.
He's not like an artist that I would actually, it was just like, you know, the venue called me and said, do you want to come to the show? I was like, all right, cool. Designer's concert, that dude was literally jumping off.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it's
He
meant to
always-
be.
He always looks like
Yeah.
he's high though.
He-
He always looks like he's high.
Mate, he was, but you know, that kind of energy is
Yeah.
what,
Yeah.
you know, the crowd
Need
needs
it.
to get.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
Tory Lanez tries to do that.
Yeah.
He tried to do that in Africa, Designer. They started taking shoes.
Oh, for real?
He's like, give me my shoes, man. He started trying to grab his watch.
Nah, you know, the same place you can't go and do that. Don't go and do that in Nigeria. Hey, nah. But you know, I feel sometimes that even as a organizer, I'm looking at the artist, and sometimes I have to tell the artist, listen, you know, you need to give them more. You know, these
Okay.
guys,
Oh, good.
it's not
Good.
a good look.
Yeah.
What you just did, you know, especially. But sometimes I know the whole thing. You sometimes want to leave people with more, wanting more. But especially when they've waited so long, and you know, you want to deliver.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, because it helps build. If you want to build a tour, you don't want to have a bad show because people are not going to come out again. Do you know what I mean? So certain times I say to my artists that are doing the shows, listen, you need to put it.
And do you think it reflects on you if they're not doing that? They're not giving the full 100, the full maximum performance. Will it go to you, like boil down to you?
Well, this is what I explained to the artists. I said to them, look, most of the artists I try to work with, we like to do like tours. We like not just one show. So whatever we do is a blueprint for the other shows. You know what I mean? Whatever
That's
you do
right.
here,
Yeah.
you know, you need to give these people more than what they paid for. Because people want to go away thinking, damn, you know what? That's it. I've heard all my songs, you know? And that's what, so every time we always strive to do more things, do you know what I mean? Do things better. I'm the kind of person I focus on like lighting. I focus on like the LEDs,
The production,
the
yeah.
side of
Big up
of a concert.
GCP.
You know what I mean? You guys relate.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, you got a good setup here, man.
Come on.
Any UK artist?
Yeah, so most of the times that we did, so when we did Cardi, we always brought like support acts. All the times I do shows, I always like to bring like UK support. So at the time, we had Miss Banks on the lineup. We had
Kojo fans.
Kojo Funds. We had some other guys, Tizzy and Brands or something.
No, it was Lotto Boys.
Oh, we had a lot of boys. Yeah,
Yeah.
shout out to a lot of boys.
Do they contact you, or you reaching out for them?
Depends
So-
who's coming over.
It depends. Sometimes we have a lot of different artists that contact us.
That's how I imagine it's for them as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
Helps
and
them.
sometimes we can't, you know, put
Yeah, you
everybody on
can't,
the
yeah,
bill.
yeah.
And sometimes there's certain people that may want to go on a lineup, but they don't really match
Fit it, they
fit
don't
the
fit it,
lineup.
fit it,
Yeah,
yeah,
like you're grime artist, but you
Yeah.
want to go and
Yeah.
do an R&B,
Yeah.
an R&B concert.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Have you done any like actual like headline shows for the UK artists? Or any Afrobeat artists?
Nah, do you know what? I haven't yet done a show for UK artists.
So that's something for the future. Then.
Yeah, definitely, because the UK scene's big now. Do you know what I
Do
mean?
any shows in Nigeria?
Sorry?
Obviously, he's planning to do any shows in Nigeria. Obviously, you grew up there, so you know you got contacts.
Yeah. Hey, you know, Yeah.
Time will tell.
Time will tell. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
So what about like obviously this whole everyone's doing the live stuff. Are you interested in that in these times? Because you can't get in the clubs right now.
Do you know what? I was having this conversation just the other day, and I think the whole with what COVID has taught us is that we have to evolve. You know?
Yeah.
And like back in the day, like for instance, the Swiss Beats and Timberland versus thing, that's big now because we were sitting at home. So just we have to start thinking about things like there's like driving concerts that's popped up.
The comedy shows.
Yeah, the comedy shows are doing well. Shout out to John G and the other guys that have been doing it. That's great, but the whole scene sort of, you have to sort of keep up with times and do other innovative stuff.
That's right.
I think there's a whole scope of other things that hasn't happened yet, but we're in that phase where normality, we're not close to it yet. Once we get close, there's going to be other innovative stuff that's going to come out of this. And I think people should just be in that sort of space where they have to just think out of the box, because
but in other words, you're not interested in doing nothing live then?
No, I'm not saying I'm not interested in it. For me, I'm a businessman.
Okay.
So I always
can't see no money in it. Can't see the peas.
Well, you know what? There's certain people that they've gone on the live scene right now, and they've made sense of it, and they built up the profile, built up the platform. So I get it. Whereas me, I'm not really in the limelight like that. Do you know what I mean? I'm more of just a businessman. I like to be behind the scenes and just make things work. If I put the pieces to the puzzle and then boom, then that's the kind of thing I'm doing. So the live thing, the Zoom sort of events and stuff is cool, but it's not where it's not where I think entertainment. I don't enjoy it. Like if I do something, the reason why I do it is because I get enjoyment for it. You're like you put on the dance and you think this is the dance I want to go to, and this is my dance. Right. And when you do it and you think everybody's saying, "Dax, man, that shit was popping." Long as that set was mad, it's
it's in your heart, innit?
Yeah,
you're
not
buzz
gonna
to
do
it
something
again.
if you're not in it.
It's
not gonna. It's gonna come out. People are like, nah, that's dead, because you don't seem like you're enjoying yourself. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I have not got that fire to do something because we're not there as a community, as a socially. People are not there with the whole. I don't think.
What about verses though? UK verses.
That's a good thing. I'm surprised we haven't like.
I feel like for verses you need archive. Verses kind of was based on the past. It wasn't based on new artists as much as it was based.
Well, that's their version, but who's comes to say that our version isn't now?
With the UK, because there wasn't that much money in it over the years. People will base how much money someone's made against someone that had a big buzz. Do you know what I'm saying? You remember that?
Naturally.
We were talking about, last week we were talking about the whole Heartless Crew versus Pay As You Go. You know what I mean? Like not Pay As You Go or Heartless Crew versus Soul Solid.
So Solid.
And the impact Soul Solid made might have been bigger on a mainstream basis, but the impact that Heartless Crew made just in the street, but
level.
abroad as well. You know what I mean? Like they've been in Australia, they've been in loads of places where people would know that people still will tap into people like Heartless Crew because it's more of an underground situation. So you get what I'm saying? More than an overground situation, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they couldn't do a verses.
Yeah. You see, the thing about Heartless Crew with the verses, it would have to. I'm talking about Heartless Crew versus
So Solid.
So Solid.
They'd have to do it like Beanie Man and
yes, they would have to do it in a way that Heartless Crew are able to freestyle.
That's it, that's what Beanie
because
Man
if
about
they
it.
can't freestyle, then off their songs alone, it wouldn't work for Heartless Crew.
You see, like Beanie Man and Bounty, they could have did track for track because they actually had war.
Yes.
So they've got old school track that they could have done war for track for track, war for war. Yeah, but they didn't do that. They just
Oh no, they did do that.
No, they
but,
did a couple,
do you know
but
what I mean?
they flipped it where they were doing it. Like,
And
live.
that was the best. That was the best part of the actual what's it called it when they flipped it on the what's it called it, because I mean they basically done their songs on another beat.
yeah.
And when the best part of that clash was when they put on that pop song. I can't remember what the pop song was. How it goes off the top of my head. Yeah, that. That was the best part of the clash.
So it's like, and they still was freestyling along with the ones that they had.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's why I say like if it was on a basis like that, because you couldn't put Page You Go against Heartless anymore. Do you know what I'm saying?
I mean, he's so solid.
You couldn't put them. No, I'm saying. You remember Page You Go and Heartless was a big clash back in the day.
Yes.
But you couldn't put them against each other like these days. You know what I'm saying? But it would be fair to put. It would be fair. I think it'd be fair. People wouldn't have an argument with Page Go gets So Solid. I mean, Heartless Group gets So Solid. So.
No, but like I said, it has to be done in a way where Heartless can actually perform and freestyle their stuff, because
that's what I mean.
otherwise it's not. It won't, because they didn't have enough songs that were hits for them to be able to do that.
But also, So Solid wouldn't be going that long neither. They'd have like 5 songs.
No, So Solid. Remember, So Solid songs were more than just songs where everybody rode the rhythm. They had like instrumental beats that were flipping crazy as well. Do you remember? So it was more than just like. So they had songs. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Heartless Crew didn't have many
songs. Who would you say
songs.
would go against So Solid in a clash then?
Only.
As a crew.
But what? They'd have to be the same era. They'd have to be same
That's
era.
what I mean. Who would you say? Any of you in here?
I'd say
Boy
Better Know
BBK.
versus So Solid.
No, it's not the same era.
No, but
That's
you
what I
see,
asked.
hold on, but you
No,
see,
they have to be the
no.
same era. They have to be the same
You
era.
see, the thing about.
It have to be the same era.
Well, no,
Well,
no.
it has to be freestyled, and like
But
we're
you see,
saying,
the
no
thing about
songs.
the
Who's
thing
got to be MC?
Hold on,
Who
what I'm
else?
saying to you,
Yeah.
the thing about BBK versus So Solid is the fact that the BBK guys were not BBK at that time.
Yeah.
So they would have material from that time, but obviously the stuff that they do will span a certain amount of decades because they weren't BBK at the time.
Exactly.
Do you understand what I mean? So that's the only way that it will kind of interlink.
And it wouldn't be fair because like how the
generational-
So
yeah.
Solid was there
Mhm.
in terms of charting and all of that.
Yeah.
It may not have been exactly like that for them. They still made their impact. You know, like on the underground scene, maybe touched the charts here and there, but that's why I say in England, that's why it would be hard to do the verses because we haven't had an industry for that long where there's enough artists that. You know, like when you put Nelly against Ludacris, just off of who we know they've been, we won't even check their hits. We just think, yeah, that works as a. You know what I'm saying?
Not really.
It's
easy. It's easy to do a verses in the UK, but it just depends on who you're putting it with. Because let's just say, for example,
Go on, like who?
it's easy to.
Let's say, what would be the biggest verses in UK loggers?
All right. It's easy to do something like easy but hard because of their relationship. But it's easy to do a Wretch 3-2 versus Scorcher.
They had.
But it won't happen because of their personal beef.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
It's
It's
kind of
easy
the
to.
same
It's
side,
easy.
yeah.
It's easy to do a Dizzy
But then
verse,
people
even
think
though it's not going to
Wretch
happen.
went further than
Even to
Scorcher.
do
Exactly.
Dizzy versus Wiley, even though it's not going to happen,
But same
and that's
crew
probably
again.
the
Both
big.
people from the same
That's
crews.
that's probably the biggest one that will probably happen.
But
Dizzy
both
versus
people you
Wiley.
mentioned are from the same crews
But
initially.
no, but what I'm saying
So
to you,
I'm just saying, but similar sounds. Not saying it like that. I'm just saying like they're from the same crews.
Yeah.
Who could we get that wasn't from the same crews? Because Wretch and Scorcher are same crew.
okay, you could easily do
Dizzy
something
and
like
Wiley, same crew.
Kano versus Skepta.
It's not fair because Kane. You know what I'm saying?
Why is it not fair?
Because again, what Kano sounds like as an artist, and then what Skepta sounds like as an artist, is two different. Like you know what I mean?
No, but you see
Spectrums.
now what you're doing. What you're doing
Do you know
is
what would be good?
you're, no,
Kano
no,
versus
what I'm saying.
Gigs.
No, what I'm saying to you, the reason what you've done now is you've actually put too many ruling into what you're doing.
No,
Now,
but
Kano
that's-
versus
but that's what the
Skepta would be
basis of the-
great simply for the fact of first thing first, they're coming from the same era.
Yeah.
They're not from the same crew. They're not from the same areas,
Yeah.
and their catalogue is virtually the same upbringing in terms of how long everything is spanned.
All right, what
Now,
about?
remember, Kano only released an album only maybe about a year, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Skepta's released an album about a year, 2 years ago. Do you know what I mean?
Like,
So
was, remember Streets days and that? Brown eyes and all that.
Yeah, it's before Skepta.
Yeah.
no, but you see the thing
No,
about it
but
is
let-
when you're
let's
talking
say
about
the
when you're
same
talking about
thing.
that, what the buzz from back in the day,
Yeah.
they could do the back in the day stuff and the
Yeah,
stuff
I-
all
I-
the way
I-
up.
I think it
was a
works.
DJ back in the day.
It
When,
works.
when Kano was spitting bars back in the day, Nasty Crew, Kano was, Skepta was a DJ.
DJ, yeah.
He was DJ Skepta.
Well,
No,
they
but
could
then he
still-
was also producing as well.
Who?
Skepta.
He was, but he wasn't a mic man.
But that doesn't matter because the what I'm trying to say to you is the catalogue of material from back
They
in
could
those
clash. They
days
could clash,
is
yeah. They could
is
clash.
basically mirrored.
Kano's
I think-
before him, you're right, but they can clash.
But only slightly before him.
You know, like when you got Beanie Man and Bounty, that's a clash. Like,
Yeah.
And you know, two good artists.
Now, Kano and Giggs
Skep-
is not a clash to me because Kano was way before Giggs.
Yeah, yeah.
There's two different eras.
No, you're right in that sense.
Way,
You're right in that sense of things. You're right. I can't even argue.
So when you're
But
talking about something
that's
that
why
mirrors
that's
each
why
other,
we put Kano against Gets. You know what I'm saying? Because they were the same kind of camp.
same
right?
kind of camp, yeah.
Yeah, that's why.
And the thing is, they were virtually one and the same. But you can how you kind of split them apart is that you can actually hear the lyrics at the time that Kano was pulling out.
Do
You
you
couldn't
know-
actually hear.
For me, like I feel like a good would be like someone like, but again, we have to scrap cells, but they're both in a decent place. Like someone like Gets and Dizzy.
Yeah.
To me, that would be a good clash. You know what I'm saying? So what are you gonna say as well?
Now, for me, ultimately, the reason why the versus thing works very well in the States, one, people don't, people realize this, but it's the people that put it on are certified.
Yes.
You put Swizz and Timbaland.
Wow.
So they're the backbone of the versus thing. So they're like powerhouses in itself. So, you know, if we were saying, okay, they had to put a UK
And people
one.
don't realize how many beefs that them guys have got in the middle of to make sure like this is squashed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's how powerhouse they are.
But you know, they make it look easy. But they, you know, I remember watching an interview. There's so many other verses they could put out, but because of certain issues, you know, it's never gonna happen.
Yeah, which is the reason why the beef between between Gucci and
Yeah. Jeezy.
Jeezy.
was so big because they had real life beef.
Yeah.
Street beef.
But for the UK one, there has to be someone like on that sort of level to certify the thing and put it together. You know, because
One person who I'd love to see in the UK in a matchup for a versus, which I don't know who she could go with, is Dynamite.
Yeah, exactly. Well, imagine like, look, let's pull out a legendary R&B artist from UK. Let's say someone like Beverly Knight, because Beverly Knight is a legendary R&B artist that she always got on the pure swings. You know, like got on the American things when we was coming up like that, and she was ours. You understand what I'm saying? And who could Beverly Knight go against?
You can't put her up against.
That's what I'm
anyone
saying. This is why I'm saying that,
that was
everything's
a
a
time.
bit one-sided here.
That was a time in the music industry where let's sign one black here, yeah, and
Well,
that's what it
even-
was. They just signed one black person, and boy, you have to wait for years for another one to come in and blah blah blah. So
who would you put Craig David versus?
That's a good question.
Because that's what the Americans know.
Does the person have to be UK?
Yeah, of course,
Yeah.
UK.
Craig David.
Do you know what?
Singing.
Lamar could hang.
That's the person
Nah,
that fought, but
nah.
the catalog is not. It
Like,
would just be a
the type
white.
of music. Like you're talking about somebody who done like up-tempo R&B and garage against an actual
R&B singer.
R&B singer.
He's in his.
It doesn't marinate.
But that would be the closest one.
I mean, because do you remember? You saw how Ludacris flipping annihilated Nelly,
But Nelly looked like he's
and
having
it
more
was,
fun.
and that was simply because like
Nelly was having the most fun. Nelly was like,
Nelly was like, "I'm just here for the party."
yeah. And Ludacris was there with his comments.
I'm here for the party and the comments. I'm here for the comments.
I'm just here to get some money off them streams, boy. Please
Yeah,
send me that check.
Nah, they
I mean, Americans are sport. They're, one of the ones I thought was really good. The T-Pain. Who was it? T-Pain and
I didn't watch none of his verses.
what's the crazy guy? The guy that shouts all the time.
Look, no.
Lil Jon.
Lil Jon. That's it,
Yeah.
that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. Lil Jon and T-Pain. That was fun.
That was fun.
That was that. The verses ones when I was getting into it.
Yeah.
That was one of the ones that I thought this is it.
There was Neo's one. I thought Neo was gonna whoop this guy's ass. Who's this guy? I've never heard of him.
Oh,
Yeah.
I couldn't believe.
because he's done a lot of
Yeah, he's
music.
done a lot. That was the
people don't realize
yeah.
how much he's done. I forgot his name now. though.
Yeah, he's the
name.
he was the one that did all the Brandy songs and
He's done so many
he's
bangers.
done, yeah.
I just had to say,
Do you know what? Speaking of somebody who's done a lot of people's songs, one person who Steve brought over, who was the coolest guy, who's done so much with Jermaine Dupri, So Def, Usher, is Brian Michael Cox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His producer.
Singer, songwriter, producer. No, he's not a singer, but
no, it's not even that.
He was part of Jermaine Dupri's camp.
yes.
So he wrote pretty much the whole of the Usher's
Confessions album. He
Confessions
done Live Without You for Mary J. Blige. He's done songs. He's done so much. He wrote songs for The Brat as well. And so
Do you know
many
what?
people.
I was just thinking about this. So I brought him over probably 10 years ago. We're talking probably even more. Probably like 12 years ago. And when we had that evening, it was like a producer's workshop where
A masterclass.
it's a masterclass where for songwriters. So he gave like tips on how to be a songwriter. And that evening we were having like a discussion, like dinner, and he was saying like I asked him what is the weirdest, because he's worked with everybody, like, who's the weirdest person? Give me the weirdest story you've had in the industry. And he gave me the story. I think I told you about it, but he said, I don't know whether you're there, you're probably there or not. He told us a story about him and Usher going to a party in Chicago, and they were invited to R. Kelly's house, right?
Oh God.
You know where this is going.
Oh God.
Right. So they pulled up at R. Kelly's house, R. Kelly's mansion. It was a mansion in Chicago.
Yeah.
So they pulled up to the mansion gate, and Brian Cox called R. Kelly. He said, yo, we're at the gate. Me and Usher here. So he said, all right, cool. I'm gonna send some people to get you. So he sends these girls, right?
Young girls.
To the gate to pick him up. And these girls were all wearing like lingerie with masks on. And they said, R. Kelly wants us to give you something. So they also had like robes and masks that I had to put on. And R. Kelly wants you to put them on to get in here. Usher was like, what the hell is this shit? Usher was like, nah, this is some freaky shit. I ain't into that. I didn't come here. I just came to hang. I'm not. Brian Cox was like, yo, don't worry. This is just calm and he's cool. Like, let's just go with it. You know what I mean? So they put on the mask, put on the robes, went in there now. And it was just like crazy vibes. You know what I mean? The way he described it, it was just weird energy. Like the girls were there at R. Kelly's beck and call. Like there was
just like the documentary.
Yeah, and he told me this stuff like 12
Way
years.
before.
This is why when I was watching the documentary, I was like, oh my God, he said this stuff even before this thing came out.
Okay.
So he said there were certain girls that were they couldn't move without asking R. Kelly,
Permission.
yeah, can I go to the bathroom? That's deep. Can I go to the kitchen? Can I get, almost like, he was like, yo, this is some next level. Like, he said that was the weirdest thing he's ever been to, And obviously, at that time, R. Kelly and Usher had, were doing music. And he, obviously producers, they were producing loads of, R. Kelly was producing for a lot of other artists. But yeah, when he told me that story, I was like, and then when all this whole thing came out about R. Kelly, I'm
Surviving
like,
R.
man, that
Kelly.
nigga's guilty, man. I heard that shit from like,
long time.
yeah, from long time.
Okay.
I'm like, people like, and all this, there were certain girls that were like, no, R. Kelly didn't do that. No, I'm like, listen,
Come on.
That
Like, he
nigga's been doing that
brainwashed-
shit from
brainwashed
day.
them,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That guy's he's guilty as, you
The
know.
guy that was going against Leo was Joan to Austin.
John Tostin,
Yeah.
yeah.
Dark Child, innit? Dark is
Was it
bro.
Dark Child?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I didn't even know that. Okay.
So to wrap it all up, how's this whole season been for you? Like, what have you kept saying? Mental state? How have you been doing?
Praying, man, praying.
Praying.
You know, I mean, do you know what? It's so crazy that we take a lot of things for granted.
Oh,
You know?
we've learnt that, innit?
And even just taking walks in the open space. I didn't realize I had a whole forest at the top of my road, you know. But, you know, it's just little things like, you know, before when we were in the rat race, we just, you know, you just,
Rushing up and down.
if someone tells you, right, you know, lockdown, you can only go and do this, or do, you know, that's the kind of stuff that I've just been enjoying now. I look forward to going to walking in the, you know,
Nature.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know what I
Discovering
mean?
nature.
Now, but also that on a serious tip, I also think that, you know, positively, that once there's normality, you know, there's going to be a lot of business opportunities.
Yeah.
As a businessman, you got to think, right, you got to prepare yourself
Yeah.
to be in a position where they'll be like, because it's evolving, it's going to evolve, and we're in a space where you either evolve or get left behind.
Or you
People
fall.
forget
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
And that's the thing about the whole sort of entertainment. You have to stay relevant, you know. And I always, in the past, always try to think, okay, what's relevant now? I mean, you know, even working with certain type of people, even though you're not on the same generation, you have to think, right, okay, we're on the same level. You know, you try to buy into, you know, certain people and think, right, okay, what can I do differently? What can I do that is going to appeal to certain type of demographics, generations? The time, what's going to appeal to the time that we're in now, where people are anxious about being close to people, you know?
Yeah.
So you gotta think, right, what can I do that's I'm gonna pass, you know, the councils, they're gonna give me permission to have something in whatever borough. Because obviously now that's gonna be the issue. It's not just the venues are gonna have a tough time doing events.
But if it goes back to normal, what do you plan to do?
I would like to do a lot of different stuff, you know. I'm a kind of person I just like to do it and not talk about it too much. I know it's not, you know.
Did you ever connect your concerts to your did you ever do an after party to your concerts? So like Stylish Nights did a after party for.
Oh yeah, do you know what? There's a couple of things we didn't touch on. We actually
Okay.
did. Longers was part of this one as well. We did some crazy after parties with. We did one of the biggest ones with Kevin Hart.
Oh,
Kevin
yeah,
Hart did
remember that, yeah.
Did a sold out show at the O2, one of his first sold out shows at the O2, and
Yeah.
literally, we did the after party right at the Indigo.
Many after parties that people don't understand that you've done all of the after parties for Kevin Hart's big concerts.
Yeah,
You've done all of the after parties for that. All of them.
yeah. So yeah, we did, and Kevin, you know, that also another guy that, you know, his energy is just, from a long time I always knew this guy was going to be very, very successful because his ethic, his work ethic is next level. Kevin's like, I remember he did a tour, and we were doing the after party for London show sold out. He was doing Birmingham, so him and myself and his manager went to Birmingham at a concert. He was doing it in Birmingham. Just before he went on, he was like, we were in the dressing room like this. This guy is gonna perform minutes after in front of a sold out show, and he was just there, chilled, talking about content, what we're gonna shoot. Like, oh, we're talking about the after party. He was like, right, okay, the after party we're gonna shoot, we're gonna document everything. We're gonna have this. I'm like, this dude is about to go on stage, and he's asking me about content, shooting. I'm like, yeah. So he was thinking, so obviously
Thinking ahead. We weren't even thinking what's going on in the next 5 minutes.
Thinking about,
He's thinking about tomorrow.
yeah.
Day
And
after.
all the things that he was doing was for, you know, the specials, the Netflix specials that you
Right,
see,
right.
you know, the comedy special.
Okay.
So that's how he's
That was his
business.
main focus, isn't it?
Yeah. So the show, he's already got the money for that show. That he's going. He's already banked. You know. So when you see it, obviously, when you think like a business person, like he's a businessman. And that's why, you know, all the scandals he was having, I'm like, they're not going to get to this guy. You know, something bad has to happen for him to drop off. Like, you know, he's so much, you know, business-wise, he's so much up there that he'll not get distracted.
What's he like when, in terms of riders picking him up at the airport? Any stories on him?
Yeah, I mean, from when I started working with Kevin, obviously to now, he's a lot bigger. So I remember back in the day, one of the first times he was here, Kevin was actually riding in one of my friends' cars. Like that's how, like wow. he was just, you know.
Down.
And I give you this story. Oh, there's one time I did. This is probably before I met Longers. So at that time they had this. We had this event with this artist called Lloyd. I even forgot about him. Lloyd was a big R&B singer at the time.
Oh yeah.
He had some. He was part of the Young Money.
Yeah.
Well,
you probably had him before he was Young Money, because he was originally part of Murder Inc. Yeah.
So he had that. He was the big thing that time. I remember he went on Westwood, and then, you know, even hyped up the party was gonna. The party was sold. I was mad. Kevin Hart came down, and we had a whole VIP section for Lloyd, and like we had a VIP section for Kevin, but Kevin came last minute, so Kevin was like, yo, do you think it's cool for me to go and say hi to Lloyd? I said, yeah, of course. So by the time I spoke to the security guard to get Kevin Hart through, the security said, nah, fam, you're not getting in here. Turned Kevin Hart away. I was like, shit. I quickly ran across to talk to the security. I think it's a great guy. I don't know this guy. You know what I mean? I said, this is Kevin Hart from the film. Yeah. Like, so plain. I was like, what am I talking to him? And he's then he let him in. I'm like, fucking hell, mate. Excuse me, I don't know what I
it's cool.
I had to go and apologize to Kevin, man. I was like, yo, Kevin, I'm sorry, man. But he goes, nah, it's all good, man. I know. Listen, I know I'm nobody. You know what I mean? This guy don't. Yeah. But imagine that.
Yeah.
Lloyd at that time was the big artist.
Okay.
And Kevin was obviously so humble. You know what I mean? Like he went there, said hello to him, and they vibes and everything. But if you fast forward to now, look at that difference.
Yeah,
like no one even you don't even know who Lloyd is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but you know the funny thing about Kevin is, for me, he is one of the coolest guys ever. So approachable, so just easy to chat to, just so like, I mean, now this was separate from the concerts. I was with Kojo at one of his other tapings of his live shows over the O2. And this was one of those, I think it was his last one that he did here, or one of the second to last ones, where he didn't have an after party. So me and Kojo was around the back, blah, blah, blah. And I said to him, Kev, like, can you just do a video for me, just saying hi to my daughter and my stepdaughter? And he's like, yeah, sure. Took my phone, asked me the names. Yo, hey, Tatum, blah, 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 blah. That's my daughter's name, Tatum. And Fallon is my stepdaughter. She's like, yo, hey, blah, 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 blah. And just off the cuff, randomly just done a video for them, shouting them out, blah, 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 blah. And just, here you go. Do you know what I mean? Now, you find that some people feel a way to do that certain times, because I have had a celebrity said to me, nah, I ain't going to do that, blah, blah, blah.
What was it? Call him out.
Nah, I'm not gonna call them. I ain't gonna call them. I'm not gonna call them. I'm not gonna call them.
No,
you know what I mean? I mean, this one's one of the young ones on their way up, but he's big right now. But anyway, but for him to just do that so openly and just like it's nothing, you know what I mean? The guy's got a big heart. Do you know what I mean? Like that name Hart suits him.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think you should air the other guy.
He's approachable. Nah.
He's trying to air it.
I'll get off him off air and then I'll put it in.
Whatever, get out of here, man.
But going back to the after party that he did, it was crazy, man. I remember Longers was DJing, and
it's off the chain.
I thought Kevin was just gonna chill in his booth and probably just. My guy was like, "Yo, get me on stage." It's like, so he got on stage, and Longers and him were like, the whole performance was like they rehearsed it, but literally it was just like freestyle,
spontaneous.
You know,
I hadn't even met Kevin at that time.
and he was just saying to Longers, drop this tune, and then he was just doing his crazy dance. You know, you're like, oh man, he was, and then at that time I think because he's from Detroit, is it Detroit, and the same place. Yeah, the same town from Meek Mill. So Meek.
Oh, Philly.
Oh, is it Philly? Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that's it, Philly, because he has this. Michael Blackson's from the same town as well.
Yeah, they're all from Philly.
Yeah. So Meek Mill, he was asking you to play with Meek Mill's jam. Yeah, it went off, man. It went off. That.
See,
that crazy.
Kevin's early come up. People don't realize that he was over here from years ago. He stayed at Kojo's house. He stayed at Richard Blackwood's house. Like, he would just go there, stay on the floor so that he can go and, you know what I mean, go to the comedy clubs and do his thing, or wherever he's supposed to be performing. This guy has grind for years, which is the reason why certain guys in the UK, he keeps them close right now.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So you're not forgetting where you come from.
Nah,
innit?
not at all.
Yeah.
A lot of big comedians, even at Kojo's Funhouse, even I would be surprised to see certain comedians that I know from Def Jam and that just turn up. You know, like when you just go on a random day and you'll see a big comedian come through, you know what I mean? Or Dave Chappelle smoking his cigarette.
Oh my word.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, there's a lot of
That'll be. We need to get Kojo down there.
Yeah.
We need to get Kojo down there.
Yeah.
Talking about that, talking about comedy, actually, I actually brought over Nick Cannon and the Wild and Out show.
Yeah. Yes, he did.
Wow.
Yeah, that was fun,
I
man.
heard about that. Yeah, that must be good. When did you do that?
Dates now, boy. Longest help me.
It was about 4 years ago, and I couldn't play at the show because I was DJing in Cancun.
Oh yeah.
Whatever, man.
But yeah, like Nick Cannon, that's one guy that, man, salute. This guy is always he's such a cool dude. You know what I mean? Like, you know, such a like really down to earth, also a businessman as well. You know what I mean? I can see why him and Kevin, you know, did stuff together, because they're on the same kind of wavelength. But yeah, I mean, he shot, so the whole pitch to him was to come over to London and do like a Wild and Out UK version, so he could shoot content for his show, which was the Wild and Out show in the season in the States. So he did that, but he had to bring, it was an expensive sort of production, because we had to bring quite a lot of, he had to fly the whole crew. You know what I mean? Like,
Wild and Out girls and everything, or did you get your own ones?
So we did the whole
UK Wild and Out search
spin-off.
Kind of
Yeah.
Is it recorded as well?
Yeah, it's on. If you go on YouTube, if you type in UK Wild and Out, you see like, yeah, it was fun. You know what I mean? It was fun. They had most of the main characters for the US ones were there. So like DC Young Fly, Chico, all the main characters. But it was like managing so many people, and that's just it was managed. For me, I was thinking there was like 16 of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like that flew over.
Yeah.
So most of the time, so apart from the people, it's the crew, the video guy. They did this, that. Everybody came. Do you know what I mean? But
and did you have to source other camera guys from the UK to come in and help? Or?
Nah, but you see, because it was like an MTV production,
right?
You know, it was like their people.
Yeah. Okay.
So they
from the UK anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
They brought in the people that were. But it was good, man. It was good. It was a nice little thing. It was fun.
Where was it?
Brixton Academy.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was talking to Nick Cannon's manager recently, and I was like, why didn't we do more? Like, why didn't we do more? It was such a good show. But I tell you, in my mind, I'm like, the reason why we didn't do more is because it was an expensive freaking production, man. Damn, how many people?
That would have been the craziest tour That would have been the crazy, because there's places that would have paid crazy money for that.
You see, talking about the versus thing, what the trick we missed at that time was the UK scene. We could have done a lot with, you know, like how they have in the States the Wild 'N Out shows. They used to have like different artists come against it, you know, do like the versus battle on the. They kind of is actually the pioneer of the versus thing, really, on, you know, because they used to do from way back. So we could have done a whole heap. I was saying to Longus, we could have done a whole heap here, like, and taken it to different cities and stuff. But now you had this whole fiasco with the Wild 'N Out brand. But you know what? I still hey.
You might be the guy to give it life.
No, but it's the name, isn't it? Like, he doesn't know if you could take the name on and take it places.
You can remix it. Can put 2Ds on the wilds.
No, but you know what? No. The thing about it is, are you prepared, or have you got that money for when they say to you, lawsuits?
Yeah, lawsuit. Yeah, and them Americans, I heard about them.
What's funny is when they fired Carlos Aries after the show, they created the 85 something show.
You remind me a bit of him, actually.
Yeah.
You probably get that. You get that.
How is it?
He's funny.
Carlos Aries, a comedian.
Okay.
So Chico, Carlos, and DC made the show like a podcast, like what you're doing. And this going crazy. It's doing really well. Like, they're doing tours themselves as well.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Oh, is Aries on the podcast with them?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I remember Aries Spears used to be one of the guy that did the best like accents, man. He does the best imitations. He was the. You was actually
gonna bring him over one time, right?
Oh man, yeah, those, yeah.
So what have we left out? What's on your head now? What have we left out? There must be more stories. What, you probably got thousands.
Nah, hey, another one. Talking about the comedy, I brought over Bill Bellamy. That was a funny guy. Bill Bellamy. Bill Bellamy was also funny.
And he came over with his old school suit as well, bro.
Oh, man, that guy's an OG. Yeah. I didn't realize it, but he's actually, is it Shaq's cousin? He's Shaquille O'Neal, his cousin. I didn't realize. Yeah.
Him and Kojo are close.
Bill Bellamy is a solid guy, like proper solid guy. You know what I mean? Like, you know, really, really cool. And he's great to interview. Obviously, he usually do the whole interview thing because he's got stories for days. I actually does it on his IG live, his Instagram. He goes way back and gives you stories. But that guy's got stories. He was telling us stories. Like, he's very interesting. Like, if they say pick one person to have a dinner conversation with, that guy, get Bill Bellamy, man. He tell you so much, and he's like, he just gives it the real tea. He doesn't no filter. You know, it doesn't have to. Man.
Do you know the funny thing about this is, I don't think that we've got enough battery power for the amount of stories that could come out right now. Because, do you know what? Like, it's only as we're going along that we're remembering certain things. And we're like, oh yeah, what about this? What about this? And it's... And
obviously we haven't rehearsed it or nothing. This is straight off the cuff.
I was going to write down...
No, you come in. Conversations, that's what it's about. Just a straight conversation. So
we're gonna do a part 2. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll get you back on it. We'll get you back on it.
It's good. Hey, it's fun, man. Listen, this is the first one I've done. So
we're honest. And we just started as well, so we're all in the same boat.
It's enjoyable, man. Enjoyable. It's good.
Thank you, innit? Thanks for coming.
No. Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Stephen Stylish Nice, aka Mr. SN.
Come on.
Thanks, man. Thank you. Thanks.
All right,
That's good fun, man.
Yeah, so.